You are watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball. We are coming to you live from historic Phil Welch Stadium in St. Joseph, Missouri on a sunny and warm Friday night here in St. Joe's. We have got your St. Joseph Mustangs coming in at 19-3 and 14-2 in the Mink, and hosting here at Phil Welch for the third time this season the Carroll Merchants, who come in 8-13 and 8-13 in the Mink. As I am Truman Griesel, alongside with me tonight is Jackson Phelps. And Jackson, third game of the homestand, but the fourth time these two teams are facing up. Mustangs have really dominated two of the first three. They've won all three, but really it's just about Carroll they are sitting at the bottom of the Mink, trying to, as this season, again, not a long season, games are now really starting to become few and far between, so they're really starting to mount wins. They're going to have a tough time tonight against not only the Mustangs, but also against Jaron Guck on the mound.
Jaron Guck, he's going to be dominant. Last time out, had a really solid outing. At the bottom of the Mink, like you said, you only got 1 month of baseball left for any team coming into this month. Last month, it's crunch time. It's get your players ready, get your best pitchers out, know your squad the best you can. And Mustangs are just trying to continue to dominate in this matchup against the Merchants and see if the Merchants can do anything. Last game, they kept it a little bit close, in the first couple halves of the innings. Fernando Espinal, that bases clearing triple. They got the guys that can have the power. They just got to know how to match them up against such a tough team against the Mustangs. It'll be the Tenderloins tonight, but they're looking to get an actual game in as last night's game got postponed.
It is Tenderloin night. Players are wearing special uniforms that will be auctioned off during the game. Our second Tenderloin night of the year. Mustangs are 1-0. They won earlier back in May on the first Tenderloin night, but should be a good matchup. Talked about last night, rain came through. It was an exciting one of the matchups circled in red on the calendar, a highlight matchup against the Clardina A's. It was tied 3-3 top of the ninth, but then Mother Nature opened up and the rains came down. That game suspended. Will be made up the next time these two teams face. But now the Mustangs, they just got to regroup as a team. I mean, Carroll's going to come in here, give them a fight. They're looking to stack wins. Mustangs are looking to continue to pace the Mink League. It's the calendar dwindling down here in June. We're ready to flip it to July. Hard to believe. But we've got St. Joseph Mustangs baseball for you next. Starting lineups being announced. We'll have national anthem and then first pitch coming up next. Jaron Guck makes his 4th start of the year, and right now is the front runner for Mink League Pitcher of the Year. He's gone 15 innings. 15 innings. He's 3-0 with a .60 ERA, just giving up 1 run all season. And he's also been very dominant, striking out 20 batters, only walking 3. And when hitters do make contact, they're only hitting 151 against him.
Oh, you know, Guck's just the guy. You know, Andrew Clark was talking about it today on the podcast, saying that, you know, Guck has been that guy. It's going to be his last summer playing baseball. He's just trying to live it in, but he's doing it dominant style. Last time start, he got the win on 5 innings pitched, just 1 hit allowed, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and just a walk. And strikeout machine. Adding those hitters to the Guck hit list is going to be definitely on the mission tonight for Jaron Guck. And we're going to see if he can go out and with another dominant performance tonight can propel the Stangs to their 20th win on the season.
Let's get a look now at that Carroll lineup that will face Guck. This is a Carroll lineup that has scored the least amount of runs in the Mink, only 88. They are only averaging 3.84 runs on the road, and they have a .214 team batting average. It'll be Martin Smith, Bradley Soto, and Fernando Espinal in that top 3. Then the middle of the orders, Brock Moore, Kengri De Los Santo, and Shane Cohen. And it's rounded out by Nolan Oliver, Jack Lutheran, and Jack Hartnagel getting his first action this season against the Mustangs. But it's definitely going to be an uphill battle to climb for the Merchants, as the Mustangs won the first meeting 10-0, the second meeting 10-8, and then the third meeting up in Carroll 12-3. So the Mustangs have yet to score less than 10 runs here against the Merchants. It was the Merchants, though, who struck early to a 6-0 lead the last time these two teams faced here at Phil Welch. But it was nothing new for the Mustangs. They were able to come back and eventually take that one 10-8, one of the closer games of the year. So we have a little traditional national anthem standoff, and Carroll's going to get a moral victory. It might be their only victory of the night, but they will take it as Jaden Little concedes, and we can get started. Mustangs in their specialty Tenderloin uniforms, the red and white plaid, the Tenderloin logo on the front, red numbers. The white pants, Carroll in their road blues with white trim, white numbers, and also white pants. It's Martin Smith to get us started. And he's swinging first pitch, and first hit for Carroll.
Just a nice swing by Smith. Guck looking to go off speed that first pitch of the day. He really likes to rely on the fastball, but Smith did a good job sitting on it and waiting for something in his wheelhouse. Got it and put a nice swing, kept the hands inside, and he ends up on first with no outs, and the type of start you want to have if you're Carroll.
Now the 4th hit of the year against the Mustangs from Smith brings up Bradley Soto. Soto hit a homer in their last meeting up in Carroll. So right now Carroll getting aggressive as Guck that one gets away from him and allows Smith to move up on the wild pitch.
A little bit of first pitch yips here for Guck. Just really needs to go back to his stuff. Get comfortable on the mound. You got your fellow Bearcat Griffith back behind home plate tonight. It's just going to be about playing catch with your catcher. Just getting in the zone. Can't lose yourself too early with these Carroll batters. You can't go down another run deficit again with these Merchants.
Bearcat Bros, Guck and Griffith, both Northwest Missouri State attendees.
Go Cats.
Soto's played in 2 of the 3 matchups here against the Mustangs. Just the 1 hit, which was a homer. But he's quickly ahead 3-0. Soto playing center field here tonight, and he's going to take a 4-pitch walk, so definitely not what we've seen normally out of Guck, a single and now a 4-pitch walk.
Got to reel himself in after that single. Looks like he just lost himself, you know, got that confidence drained from him. He looks like he just doesn't even want to try the zone with these Merchants hitters, but with a guy like Espinal with that bases clearing triple, you know, 3 RBI triple in himself last time out against the Mustangs, definitely a guy you don't want to give it too much in the wheelhouse to.
The new College of Florida attendee in Espinal. Playing left field tonight. Leads this team with 12 runs scored and is tied for the team lead with 2 homers. One of those homers came in our last game on Wednesday at Jeff City as he skies one to center. In comes Freeman, and that one's going to fall. Coy didn't go after it, and it was a long run for Freeman, and now the bases are going to be loaded.
It just keeps getting worse for the Mustangs here to open it up. Still no outs on the board, and a quick bases loaded approach will bring up the cleanup hitter in Brock Moore, and he's got a really good opportunity. Doesn't have to do anything too special. Your main goal here just to get the runner from third and second home, and they have just the right stuff to do it.
That ball hit it back out into no man's land. Coy pulled up a little bit, but he was the closest man to it. He thought Freeman was going to get to it, but Freeman got a late break. Now a golden opportunity here for the Merchants. Brings up the Urbandale, Iowa native, Brock Moore. Getting the DHing duties tonight. Currently only hitting 172 on the season, 5 hits and 29 at-bats.
Just going to want to try and put this ball on the ground, at least get 2 here. Runner on third's not your biggest worry.
Now it's 3-0 to Moore as Jaron Guck just not looking like himself. As the Merchants have come out and just jumped all over him. He looks a bit shell-shocked on the mound. Able to find the zone to stay alive, 3-1. Moore, just the second game he's playing against St. Joe. He was 2 for 3 on that game back up in Carroll on June the 22nd. Did not play in any of the 2 meetings here at Phil Welch. That one grounded foul just down the third base line, and the count now goes full against Moore.
That's exactly what Guck needed. You know, didn't get the called strike, but a foul ball there makes the count full. Now Guck a little bit of breathing room, can probably try and test that zone a little bit more. A strikeout here would be likely to put 1 on the board and keep that double play, ending any double play in commission.
Guck only came in with 3 walks, already has 1 in the inning. That one lined to center. This time Freeman got a better jump on it. He lays out, will make the grab, but tagging and coming home to score with the first run of the evening will be Martin Smith.
Good swing put on there by Moore, and he did his job, just getting one of the runners home. Keeps the runner on second as well, so not as easy as an approach for De La Santo coming up. But a good swing, put it right into center field, but what a catch made by Freeman. That'll at least save extra bases if it gets down, and likely 2 runs, but what a heck of a play out in center field.
4th RBI of the season for Moore. Still quite the jam that Guck finds himself in. The double play ball would end the inning as it's Kengri De La Santo, originally from Azua of the DR. First pitch breaking ball way outside. Carroll's been laying off the breaking balls to start and really attacking the fastballs. A lot of hard hit balls in this top half of the first. That run was just the 2nd run Guck has given up all season. He has been fantastic. Threw 4 innings to open his year, 10 strikeouts back on May the 31st against Nevada. And then 6 shutout innings on June the 10th against Sedalia, and 5 shutout innings on June the 19th against the North Missouri Naturals. De Los Santos ahead 2-1 here. Takes a fastball low and away for strike 2.
Great payoff pitch from Guck. Found that bottom of the zone. De La Santo had to give a talk about it just to make sure that zone is opened up, but Guck's in another good spot here with 2 strikes.
De La Santo 0 for 8 this season against St. Joe. Now make it 0 for 9. First strikeout of the night for Jaron Guck, and a big one at that. As Kengri De La Santo goes down swinging. And it's taco time here at Phil Welch. An early one. Free tacos for fans, courtesy of Taco Bell. But now 2 outs in the inning brings up Shane Cohen. First time Cowan's playing here against the Mustangs. He's first pitch swinging, but fouls one back. North of the border native from Windsor Junction, Nova Scotia, and currently attends Dakota Wesleyan University.
Nova Scotia.
Cohen comes hitting 217, just his 8th game of the summer. Here for Carroll. Last time out on June the 23rd, he was 1 for 3 with an RBI against Sedalia in a 12-2 loss. That one grounded to third, past the diving glove of Gundelfinger into left. Around third and scoring without a throw is Soto, and it's now 2-0 Carroll. As now Griffith didn't want to throw the ball down, so Cowan moves into scoring position with a little mind games being played.
So what a base hit from Cowan. Opposite field, ground ball towards Gundelfinger. Jammed a little bit inside, but just fast off the bat to get past the diving glove. And as big as they come, another RBI for the Merchants, and they got 2 runners in scoring position with Espinal. Now Cowan, and now Guck getting the talk from Griffith, just trying to get himself out of this inning, and 2 runs allowed on 3 hits.
He's only given up 8 hits all season, already 3 here in the top of the first. So it's now Nolan Oliver who really has a chance to break it open. Oliver's been hitting Mustang pitching well this season. 4 for 9 with 3 walks at the plate here in the 3 games he's played against St. Joe. Big spot for the 7-hole hitter as he takes a first pitch upstairs. Again, just Jaron Guck falling behind these counts, something we have not seen yet this season. He's been so good at getting ahead of hitters and finishing them off, but right here, Carroll's been very patient, not willing to chase anything.
There you go once again. Just the patience continues to go. Guck just needs to find that zone. 2 outs on the board. He's got some time to find himself back, but got to find that zone if you want to lead these guys on.
Oliver hitting 207 in his team-leading 21st game of the summer. Also leads this team with 12 walks. He's on the verge of working his 13th walk as Guck behind now 3-0. Two already home in the inning on 3 hits. Carroll has come out swinging tonight. They won the National Anthem standoff, and now they've won the race to putting the first couple runs up on the board. Oliver last night in Jeff City, Wednesday night in Jeff City was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
It appears a warning has been issued towards the Mustangs bench.
Definitely some chirping going on, not just from that, but definitely from the home crowd, thinking that some of those calls that have been called balls were finding their ways into the zone. Nonetheless, 3-1. Now full count as Oliver fouls it back.
Guck's been doing a pretty solid job in those 3-0, 3-1 counts, getting that payoff foul ball. He's got to take advantage of it a little bit more now. He's got 2 outs, big pitch coming up. Is it going to mean the difference with the ball in the gap to the next batter? Or he could send him with 2 runners left on.
And he takes the breaking ball right down the middle for strike 3. Second strikeout out of the inning for Jaron Guck, and he gets out of the jam, but not before the Merchants plate 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 left. We're ahead to the bottom of the first. Your Mustangs coming up to the plate for the first time and quickly find themselves in an 0-2 hole. Quinn Wilfong also making his 4th start of the summer for Carroll. Quickly finds himself with a 2-0 lead as he's 1-0 this summer in 13 innings, a 3.46 ERA. 9 strikeouts to 7 walks, so isn't necessarily going to blow by hitters, but definitely gets a lot of weak contact. But he finds a Mustang lineup. He's going to have some urgency here early, quickly down in a hole, Jackson.
Yeah, you know, only a 3.46 ERA definitely comes in with one of the sharper pitchers on this Merchants roster. They're not a pitcher-heavy team, but they're just going to look to find a way to shut down this Mustangs team. Had a good first inning. That's exactly what you want to do to start off in a nice Friday game here at Phil Welch. It's a start that many of us weren't expecting with Guck on the mound, and a lot of starters here their last couple of days here at Phil Welch looking like they've been having some rocky starts. But this is the perfect time for Wilfong to try and surprise us. But yeah, not a heavy strikeout hitter, but this is a team that you don't want to allow walks on and easy bases.
So we'll face a lineup led off by Darius Freeman, then Chris Coy moved up into that 2-hole. And Dom Felix, Justin George, and Trevor McCollum anchor the middle with the high schooler Easton Philippi, and then Tyler Gundelfinger, Parker Griffith, and Truman Bodenhausen rounding out this Mustang lineup. Quickly down 2-0, but have shown this season their abilities to come back in games and come back quickly. As Darius Freeman leads off, the Central Methodist attendee. He leads off a lineup that averages 9.86 per runs at home, as that one sky deep left center. That ball is going to get down and split Espinal and Soto in the gap. And it's going to be a leadoff double on the first pitch of the evening for Darius Freeman.
Both teams taking the first pitch of their respected innings out into the outfield, and this time into the gap for Freeman. That no wind out here, but it looked like it just carried and carried and carried off the bat. And Freeman finds himself with a leadoff double in the exact situation after giving up 2 in the first for these Mustangs.
7th double of the season for Freeman, ties Dom Felix for the team lead. And right there, that was another play showing how deadly this sun can be, as that ball was torched. But both Espinal and Soto did not get great breaks toward it, as they were both shielding their eyes, trying to find it. But now it'll be Chris Coy with a golden opportunity here to cut this lead in half and drive in his 13th run of the season. Freeman takes off for third, pitch in the dirt. Not going to be a play. Darius Freeman steals third. And obviously the 2-0 deficit not phasing Darius Freeman.
Just a beautiful jump. Going from second to third for Freeman is not a big deal at all. And it was in the dirt and off speed, so it gave him an extra jump, and not the best throw in the world. But now just 90 feet away, the Mustangs have a runner.
Team leading 11th stolen base. He's only been caught twice. After last summer, he swiped 25 bags in 28 tries. Coy was 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch last night in the suspended game against Clardina. As he lines one out towards center, Soto again shielding his eyes. He'll lay out to make the grab. Freeman has to tag Soto with a strong throw home. Not going to be in time, and it's cut in half as the lead.
What a play made in center field. I'm going to say that first from Soto. But Coy did his job, put it in the air. It looks like Freeman hesitated at first, had to go back to third to tag up. But Soto's throw all the way from center, not even cut off, on line. Freeman with his speed makes it there just in time for the first run for the Mustangs. But a close one, but a nice job getting Freeman all the way around.
It was a hard one to judge. Freeman thought it may have dropped, left a little early, realized that Soto did in fact grab it, had to retouch. Soto made a very strong throw home, almost Bo Jackson-esque, but unfortunately couldn't get Freeman. So the Mustangs quickly answer here in the bottom of the first with a run of their own. So it brings up the 3-hole Dom Felix, DHing tonight. He didn't play last night against Clardina. Last time out he played was in that doubleheader against Chillicothe, when in those 2 games he went 2 for 7 with 2 RBIs. He went hitless in the first game of that doubleheader on Tuesday, and it broke his 7-game hit streak, and it also ended his 18-game on-base streak. He finds himself down 1-2 now, looking to start a new streak as there was a nice catch made by a fan. Back in the seats.
Like you mentioned, Felix just knows how to do it. You know, he knows how to get runners on, knows how to get himself on, and knows how to get inside that pitcher's head in the batter's box.
Wilfong last time out against Nevada on June the 19th. Only went 3 innings and gave up 2 runs and struck out 3 and walked 4. He's already given up 1 here. His best start of the season came on June the 12th against Jeff City. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. Felix down 1-2, and he takes a breaking ball in the dirt, evening the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is also a Mustang offense striking early. They have scored 10-plus runs 12 times this season. In half their games, they have scored 10 or more runs. This is just the most potent offense in the mink.
It really is. And they do it in ways that, you know, they're not the most heavy hitter team in the world. You know, they don't lead the league in home runs, extra base hits, none of that. They do lead the team, and you know, on base percentages has been the biggest thing. Getting guys on base, getting those runners in scoring position, and just manufacturing those runs helps get those 10-plus runs for these Mustangs.
Felix has worked the count full, and he continues to battle. It's pitch number 9 coming up in this at-bat. Jackson, you just talked about getting on base. 8 hitters on this Mustangs roster have 10 or more walks. And then you have another 3 that have 9 walks. So these Mustangs hitters are just patient and have great vision and a sense of the strike zone. Felix skies one again. This one down the left field line, but foul. We'll do it again. 3-2 is pitch number 10 from Wilfong to Felix.
That's the other thing. Patience as they come, but if they see something on a full count or a 2-strike count, they're not going to give them easy up to those pitchers. They're going to put a bat on the ball and continue those at-bats, and that's the way they continue to get inside these pitchers' heads.
Felix, 5 RBIs in the last 2 games against Carroll. Gives you 1 for 5 with 3 RBIs in that road matchup, and he takes ball 4 upstairs. So Felix wins the battle and works his 12th walk of the season.
Patience, patience, patience. It's key, and Felix shows us why exactly there. Good job on 3-2. Stressful situations is exactly where the Mustangs like to thrive, and Felix continues to show just that. Draws the full count walk, bringing up Justin George to the cleanup spot.
George was 0 for 2, but was plunked by 2 pitches last night against Clardina before the rain suspended the game. He has also appeared in all 3 games against Carroll and was 2 for 6. Their last matchup with the doubles, that one line, shallow center. That ball is gonna, what a catch, a basket catch made by De Los Santo, and he throws back to double up Felix. What a play by Kengri De Los Santo to end the inning. As the Mustangs get 1 in the inning on 1 hit, nobody left. As Kengri De Los Santo makes a heck of a double play as we're headed to the second. 2-1, Carroll. Fireworks here early as Carroll leads St. Joe 2-1 as we enter the top of the second, but we get a look at your Mustangs defensive lineup. Easton Philippi makes his second start in left field of the summer. Then Darius Freeman out in center with Trevor McCollum in right. And in the infield, it's Tyler Butterfinger Gundelfinger at third base, Chris Coy at shortstop, Truman Bodenhausen back at second base, and Justin George over at first base. And your battery mates, like we said, are the Bearcat buddies in Jaron Guck and Parker Griffith. It will be Jack Lutheran 8-9-1 here for the Merchants, as Guck got 2 strikeouts in the top of the first, but he also gave up 2 runs on 3 hits as the Merchants were attacking him early and often. Lutheran takes first pitch outside, ball 1, and that's a lot of what we saw in the top of the first. First pitch balls and getting behind in counts was Guck. Lutheran from Irmo, South Carolina. He attends Erskine College as Guck dots a fastball on the outside corner, evening this count up at 2-2. Lutheran 0 for 6 in 2 games played against the Mustangs with 2 walks drawn.
Doing a good job so far on Guck. Guck looks like the most comfortable he's been so far in his start. Finds it here in the top of the second with Lutheran at the bottom half. You know, it's a good time to be comfortable, you know, with a rocky start. He's looking to get himself back.
That 2-2 stayed up there, lined out to left. Philippi has a good beat on it and goes off his glove. Lutheran makes the turn, heads for second, and he slides in there safely with a leadoff double here in the second, as that one just clanged off the glove of Philippi, who seemed to have a good beat on it but couldn't pull it in.
If you know, Philippi, predominantly a catcher, doesn't really have the most experience out in left field, and that sun just makes it even harder to read the ball off the bat and try and track it. He got a glove on it, just couldn't get it in the mitt. You know, he's used to having that big old catcher glove. Well, but hey, got to give him some grace. You know, it's not his main position, but he made a good beeline on it.
Like we said, just his second start out in left this summer. Now Carroll is threatening yet again as it's the 9-hole hitter Jack Hartnagel. Just his third game, 0 for 5 so far for Hartnagel. Hartnagel out of O'Fallon, Missouri, from across the state. I-70 up I-29 to get here to St. Joe, as that one lightly tapped in front of the mound. Guck fields and fires and throws out Hartnagel, and Lutheran will move up 90 feet to third.
Nice play there from Guck. Realized it off the bat and did a solid job just making the play over to first, even though the run does move up an extra 90 feet and in to third base. Got an out on the board. Try and get a quick out, hold that runner on third, and Guck might be back in the driver's seat.
Back to the top of the lineup in Martin Smith, who singled on the first pitch of the game and came around to score on the Brockmore sac fly. Mustangs infield back, so they're willing to concede a run for an out here. Still early, only at the top of the second. Smith was first pitch swinging again. Came's up empty this time. Was his 4th hit against the Mustangs and 3rd RBI. He pokes one out to Bodenhausen, who fields. Run will score, but second out recorded on the RBI, ground out by Martin Smith.
Did exactly what he was called to do, just put it at least on the opposite side of the infield, allowing an easy run to come in from Lutheran. opens it up to another 2-run lead for these Merchants. They're working on Guck early, and they're doing the jobs they need to do. Nothing too flashy so far, but in the positions that they've been in, they've capitalized.
That'll be Bradley Soto, who worked a 4-pitch walk and scored in the first. It was Smith's 4th RBI against the Stangs this season and his 7th of the season as a whole. Soto out of Bentonville, Arkansas, attends William Penn University. And he quickly finds himself in a 1-2 hole, chases a fastball on the outside.
Right there, that's Guck that we know. Wants to work that outside part on the fastball. And he's done such a good job so far. You know, I mean, if he's trying to avoid putting it on the inside half, Guck all season long has been doing a good job on that outside part, and he finds it once again.
Soto was 3 for 8 with a homer and a triple against Jeff City in a 2-game series on Monday and Tuesday of this week. He stays alive here, 1-2. Merchants leading hitter Gavin Gonzalez not playing tonight. He leads the team in average, RBIs, homers, triples, doubles, hits, and at-bats. So far this offense able to rack up 3 quick runs against the Minks' leading pitcher. But a breaking ball in the outside corner freezes Soto for the 3rd out of the inning to retire the side. 3rd name added to the Guckett list here early. But the Merchants get a run back. 1 run on 1 hit, nobody left. We're headed to the bottom of the 2nd. Merchants back up 2 at 3-1. Five, six, 7 hitters here in the bottom of the 2nd for your Mustangs as they find themselves back down by 2. Is Jackson Carroll coming out here and giving the Mustangs a fight and not really conceding to the Mink leading top team here early?
Not at all, and I'm impressed so far. I mean, they've definitely walked into Goliath as they're David and this counterpart, and they're, you know, getting the stone ready. But the Mustangs, I feel like they've been the most comfortable when they are uncomfortable, you know, and it's just something that has been a part of this team the whole season long, and they're definitely going to have to go back to that type of ball playing if they want to get back into this game. It's only a 2-run deficit, but the way Carroll's been pitching and the way Carroll's been managing those base runners, it's definitely looked like the Mustangs so far this season. So the Mustangs really got to take back this game quick if they want to make it back.
Trevor McCollum leads off here against Quinn Wilfong. McCollum only 1 at bat. So he started the game last Saturday but left early. He did reach on that one at bat on an error. Just the second time he's playing here against Carroll. McCollum hitting .333 this season, 15 hits. He's also driven in 14. A multi-year veteran here on this St. Joe roster. Wilfong jams him and he finds himself down 1-2.
McCollum just been blooming recently. Been doing his part, getting on base. He's made some defensive plays out in the outfield. He's done it both sides for this Mustangs this year, and he's definitely a fan favorite, and he shows it why this last couple of weeks.
McCollum actually pitched on Wednesday's game against the St. Joe All-Stars through 4 shutout innings, only yielded 1 hit. Fun to see him out on the bump. Back in his normal outfield position out and right tonight. He takes a fastball up near the chin. Count goes full here to start the bottom of the second for the Stangs. Wilfong did walk 1 in this first. That base runner is quickly erased on a nice double play by Kengri De Los Santo out at second, making a basket catch over his shoulder out in shallow right center. Shadows have continued to grow here at Phil Welch. Outfield not really covered, but most of the infield, just the little part at second base and around, still not yet covered by shade. And it's a leadoff walk here in the second, drawn by Trevor McCollum.
This is exactly what the Mustangs need. This is what they've manufactured. This is how they start their dominant innings of work. Get an early runner on base, get him around, and McCollum, one of the more speedsters on this team, is a guy that you can rely on to get around. And Philippi looking to put some balls in play. You just want to get McCollum all the way around. That is your main goal right now with that leadoff walk with no outs.
12th walk drawn of the summer and the 149th as a Mustangs team, which leads the Mink. So now will be the Staley High School graduate, Easton Philippi. He's taking his talents across the state line to Wichita, Kansas, and Wichita State University in the fall. As he lines a 1-0 pitch, that ball will stay up, and it will get down. Not caught out and left by Espinal. Gave a great effort for it, but couldn't come up with it. As the Mustangs had their first 2 leadoff hitters on here to start the second.
Philippi, a nice swing. It's held up a lot more than I thought it would out in the left, and Espinal with a diving attempt. It looked like he got the glove underneath. Must have just fell on the grass, but now 2 runners on. And it'll bring up Gundelfinger, a productive hitter as most, but he's got to put a ball in play, still no outs. You would like to maybe see a double steal here. McCollum's been doing that all season long, going from second to third like his counterpart Freeman. And Philippi, sleeper speed as a catcher and utility player, so you got 2 guys on that you can have some comfortability moving around.
That hit for Philippi. It's 12th hit of the season. Second hit of the night for the Stangs. It's just what they ordered here. Still find themselves down by 2 runs as out of the dugout for Carroll was manager Joserius Martinez out of the Dominican Republic, talking to the umpire. Might have a lineup card, maybe malfunction of some sort. Not quite sure what's happening, but the umpires are together between home plate and the mound.
Not sure what's going on.
Martinez is getting an explanation.
Looks like we're ready to play some ball. Not 100% certain of what was going on. Maybe a lineup dispute or a defensive adjustment, or I don't know of any some sorts, Truman, but definitely out of the wink.
Nevertheless, Tyler Gundelfinger here with 2 men on and no one out here in the bottom of the second. Gundelfinger currently riding an 11-game on-base streak into tonight. Had his best game of the season against Carroll in their first match. Was 3 for 3 with a homer, pair of stolen bases, couple of RBIs. Some groans from the crowd on that strike call. The chirping continues from both sides. But Gundelfinger quickly finds himself down 0-2. Trying to, at least at the minimum, advance both of these runners into scoring position for Parker Griffith. That one gets out in front of the plate, and both runners will advance nonetheless. Great reads out there from McCollum and Philippi to move up on the pass ball.
Just absolutely wreaking the chaos like we keep mentioning, and the reads from these base runners from the Mustangs this season have been top of the notch. Extra 90 feet, now 2 runners in scoring position, looking to tie this ball game up with a hit now. Gundelfinger with no outs.
Now really anything but the strikeout of the infield pop-up does wonders. He fouls that one back. Gundelfinger in his first summer here up in St. Joe comes from Hillsborough Community College, but he told us on Wednesday he's going to be attending Arkansas Tech. Originally from Shawnee, Kansas. And he waves and misses at the breaking ball, so a huge strikeout from Wilfong. Retires Gundelfinger for the first out here in the second.
Huge is definitely the word for that, and Wilfong a little bit of a breather. You still got McCollum and Philippi on. You're just looking to get something into the outfield. Base hit, maybe a drop. It'll score both with the speed they got on, and Griffith in a big spot here to try and chip back at a Merchants lead here into the second.
First strikeout of the night for Wilfong, just his 10th of the season. Here in his 15th inning of work. Now it will be Parker Griffith, the catcher. Griffith leads this team with 2 bombs on the season. Hasn't played since June the 24th on Tuesday. Doubleheader against Chillicothe. He was 2 for 5 combined in those games with 2 runs scored, and one of those hits was a double. He looks at a breaking ball in there for a strike. Wilfong's been able to locate that breaking ball. It's what he got Gundelfinger to swave at and miss. It's been the pitch he's been most comfortable throwing across for strikes. Another breaking ball. Squibbed off the end of the bat and foul by Griffith, and now a 1-2 hole. See if Wilfong goes back to that breaking ball for a 3rd time.
It's been working. Got Griffith swinging, did a good job getting a barrel on it. Now another 2-strike count for Wilfong early on in a count. See if he takes advantage and gets 2 straight outs, and big 2 outs for the Merchants.
The 1-2 offering from Wilfong. Another breaking ball, but this time Griffith does not chase. Count evens at 2 apiece.
Huge block from Cowan behind the plate. Looks like it could have scribbled off on the right side. And that is another way that these Mustangs have manufactured some runs, those pass balls. And these catchers here at Phil Welch definitely play a big part in keeping those runs off the board.
Griffith swings and skies one out into right field. It takes Smith drifting back. Has a beat on it, makes the grab. Both runners will tag. And Parker Griffith will drive in McCollum on the sac fly, cutting this lead back to 1 at 3-2.
Beautiful swing put on by Griffith in the opposite side in right field. Allows McCollum easily to score and allows Philippi to go from 2nd to 3rd. So now just a base hit from Bodenhausen on the 9th spot can get this game tied up. But a huge swing from Griffith. Keep chipping back. 2 outs on the board. Just got to put something in play.
Second sac fly of the evening for the Mustangs, and it brings up the RBI man himself, Truman Bodenhausen. Bodenhausen tied for second on this team with 19 ribbies. So far in the summer, he only had 17 all of last season in 82 at-bats, and already 19 in what'll just be his 59th at-bat. Bodenhausen playing his first summer with the Mustangs without his brother Noah. Noah was a staple, a couple of Mink championship winning teams, but now it's the younger Bodenhausen proclaiming the name here in 2025.
He's put a big name on for himself so far this season. He's definitely stepped into a big role that his brother plays for him. Like you said, Ribby Master has an opportunity to get to number 20 right now and cement that name even bigger this season.
19th game of the summer. He finds himself ahead 3-1, so definitely inner hitters count. He has only drawn 6 walks. It's a hard guy to walk in Bodenhausen. He does have 17 hits on this season as well. 293 hitter. Now the count goes full to the Stangs 9-hole hitter.
Wilfong did a good job going back to that straight heater. Wound up a lot big on that one. Was just really trying to blow it by Bodenhausen. Now a full count. Want to see if he goes back to that fastball, try and get Bodenhausen sitting back.
It is a fastball, but it's way upstairs for ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Wilfong, third of the game. And the Mustangs 9-hole hitter able to draw the 2-out walk, turning the lineup card over back to Darius Freeman.
Freeman just trying to get that second hit of the ballgame in a big one. Runners on the corners. Bodenhausen likely might go ahead and try and swipe second. Get a nice 2-runner in scoring position approach for Freeman here with 2 outs. It'd be the most ideal situation. And all Freeman's got to do, if that's the case, just put something in the outfield, get it past one of these infielders. They're playing back near that grass, so he's definitely going to have to get some pop on that ball.
Freeman was first pitch swinging, but way out in front of a breaking ball. Bodenhausen second on the team with 10 stolen bases. Is a threat to go. Freeman 1 for 1. Doubled and scored a run his first time up. It was his team-leading 22nd hit and team-tying 7th double. Bodenhausen is going, but Freeman rolls over and chops one to De La Santo, who easily throws him out to retire the side, but the Mustangs get another run back. But Carroll maintains their 1-run advantage. We're headed to the third here in Phil Welch. Carroll leads 3-2. After the rain came through last night and cooled off the weather, back to the normal mid-80s. Currently 86 degrees, drop into the low 80s by the time the sun goes down. 8:51 sunset time. We've seen some beautiful sunsets here at St. Joe. Those shadows in the outfield, those center field and right center still having to deal with that sun. But Carroll still maintains their one-run lead at 3-2 as Fernando Espinal gets the Merchants started here in the third.
Got that single back in the first. Definitely's got the bat on Guck. He's had his way with the Mustangs his last couple of games, these last two. This is a guy you want starting it off here in the third, trying to get more.
1 for 1 so far with a single. He had his best game of the season back on June the 21st. He went 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. He followed up the next day against St. Joe with an 0 for 4 outing. But definitely has seen Mustangs pitching well. Guck back to work for his third inning, looking to throw up his first 0. He quickly has Espinal down 1-2. Espinal comes in after a 2 for 4 night with a homer against Jeff City back on Monday. Broken 0 for 7 streak for him. He does not offer at that breaking ball. Griffith thought he went around, but Espinal able to hold up.
That's a good pitch from Guck. Put it on that outside part. Like that cut, it just cuts from east to west so hard at the last second. Espinal saw it, but did a good job holding back. But it did look a little close going over that plate. But still 2 strikes for Guck.
That pitch runs right up below the chin, puts Espinal on his knees. The count now goes full. Guck only 1 walk and 3 strikeouts so far in 2+ innings. This is full count offering. Not offering at, taken for ball 4, second walk by Guck tonight.
Just not the start. That's back-to-back-to-back innings that the Merchants have found a runner on base on the first at-bat, and Guck's just going to need one of those to go his way. You know, Andrew Clark was telling today he took a little bit of a break the last couple of days with the Mustangs. He was out doing some stuff. He's just kind of come back here, trying to get back in that groove. It can be kind of tough whenever you take a little break from being on the mound, but definitely got to reel himself back in and trying to eliminate some of these early runners on for the Merchants.
Now the cleanup hitter, Brockmore, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly back in the first. Guck starts him off with a heater on the outside. Guck at this past spring with Northwest Missouri State. He started 11 games, appeared in 12 in 59 innings. 4.73 ERA. Opponents were hitting just below 300 at 291. So definitely an up and down season from Guck. Jackson, I know you got a front row seat to that, but that one thrown away on the pickoff attempt. George gets to it quickly, but Espinal now moves into scoring position on the E1.
Definitely not the play in the cards there. Now a runner in scoring position, no outs, and those are the types of plays you just gotta eliminate. You can't give any free passes to these Merchants right now up 1. They have the cards. They have the Mustangs right where they want them. They have them a little bit razzled on the defense, and that's exactly where you want them. I mean, this defense has been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. You want to get them there.
Espinal chops him off the middle. Coy Fields will easily throw him out, but Espinal moves up to third now as Moore advances him on the ground out. Brings up Kangri De Los Santo. Struck out swinging his first at bat. 6th time he struck out this season in 9 at bats against St. Joe. And a strikeout is just what Guck needs to keep that runner at third and keep that run from scoring. De Los Santo's first pitch swinging. Espinal got a great jump, so he will score. 3rd straight inning the Merchants have scored as De Los Santo drives in a run on the ground out.
Great job. It really just goes unnoticed sometimes how much those plays, when you got a runner on third, just putting it into play, can be such an impactful part of this game. Now back to a 2-run lead. The Merchants go now 4-2. Guck, right in those types of moments, you just want to limit those in the zone. Don't really want to give them anything to put in play with a runner on third with just an out. But now with 2 outs on the board, no one on base, Guck just needs to get himself out.
Got D'Alessandro to roll over, but Espinal, again, got a great break on that ball, and it would have been hard for Gundelfinger moving to his left to plant and fire home, and probably wouldn't have gotten him. But now with 2 outs, it's Shane Cowan. RBI single with 2 outs back in the first. Guck looking to labor through 3 innings. There is some movement out in that right center pen for the Mustangs. This might be Guck's last inning, but he jams Cowan right there. Couple of hops to Bodenhausen, throws him out. But again, the Merchants are able to respond after the Mustangs played a run. They played their 4th run on a walk. Comes around to score on the ground out. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd. You're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. It's trivia time here, bottom of the 3rd here at Phil Welch. Carroll still maintains now a 4-2 advantage, but recently this week the Chiefs announced their 2025 training camp schedule, and so I thought, 2025 will mark how many years the Kansas City Chiefs have held their training camp at Missouri Western State University here in St. Joe. Is it 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, or 25 years strong? At Missouri Western State, the Griffins campus has held Chiefs training camp. Jackson, you got any thoughts?
I don't really know. It's been one of my favorite things to do with my family and friends growing up around the Kansas City area, up here in St. Joe. This is a tough question. I mean, Mo West, I don't know how long they've been at the campus of Mo West. This is a tough question. I'm just going to go B. I'm going to go 20 years. It's my guess. I don't know for sure. Being a Chiefs fan, I don't know, but I'm going to go 20 years. I feel like that's a solid guess. I don't want to go too early, but I also don't want to go too late.
I will be attending for the first time this summer. It'll be the first Chiefs event I will be attending in person since 2015, but kind of exciting, just to go to, watch practice, basically. It's practice, but, it'll be fun.
If you haven't gone, it's super fun. Get some autographs.
It is linebackers the day I'm planning to go, so, I might bring a Mizzou thing, try to get Nick Bolton to sign it.
There you go.
Back to baseball. Chris Coy leads off here in the Mustangs' home 3rd. He drove in Darius Freeman on a sac fly in the 1st. Like Carroll, Mustangs are trying to get their 3rd leadoff man on in as many innings. It's Coy, the Benton High School graduate, taking his talents to the University of Omaha, Nebraska. We'll get to play his home games inside legendary Charles Schwab Field. Just a little less legendary than legendary Phil Welch Stadium, but definitely a stadium that kids dream of playing in one day. He quickly finds himself in the driver's seat and ahead by 50 lengths here, up 3-0. It's Quinn Wilfong trying to be the first pitcher to throw up a 0 tonight.
Just trying to get another base runner early on for the Mustangs. Exactly what they need. They did it last inning with the walk, came around to score. Now Coy's trying to be that counterpart here.
And it will be a third straight leadoff man on as Coy takes the 4-pitch walk. And not a guy you want to put on early with nobody out. 7 stolen bases and has yet to be caught.
Yeah, Coy's got a baseball mind. He's smart. He's so fundamentally sound in everything he does. Defensively and on the base paths, he knows when to go, knows when to not. You know, he's really smart for his lack of age on this team, but he knows how to ball.
Now it's Dom Felix. He walked, but then was doubled off on a fantastic play made by Kangri De La Santo on a blooper hit by Justin George to end the first. There goes Coy to second. Breaking ball, throw down, not in time. Make it a perfect 8 for 8 so far this summer for Chris Coy.
Nice jump and a good throw down by Colin, but the speed from Coy just picked up the Jets halfway through. And a nice head first slide, got that hand on quickly. And now no outs, runner in scoring position, trying to bring that next leadoff runner home once again.
Now another pitch in the dirt, but blocked by Cowan. Puts Felix ahead 2-1. Both these pitchers so far tonight have struggled with falling behind in counts to hitters and not being able to pitch to their strengths and pitch to their control. And these hitters have been ambushing pitches when they've been ahead in counts. Breaking ball drops in on the inside corner. It buckled Felix for a sec. Didn't offer at it. Felix has the team lead, tying with Darius Freeman with 7 doubles. He's driven in 19 runs. Currently hitting .313. Now that ball in the dirt, it gets away from Cowan. He can't find it. And Chris Coy could have walked to third base. Now the Mustangs have a runner on third with nobody out.
Right there. Just the ability for Coy to read that pitch all the way in from second. Easy 90 feet and now no outs. Felix just has to put something either on that opposite side or has to shoot something into the outfield. Get Coy home.
Say this every time, but anything but the strikeout or the infield pop-up will do a job.
Yeah.
And Felix sitting on a breaking ball, skies it deep left. Espinal has a read on it. Coy will tag, and it's the Mustangs' 3rd sack fly of the evening as Chris Coy crosses the plate for run number 3.
Did the job. Knew it right off the bat. That was going to plate Coy. Trailed up. It looked a little bit heavier of a hit than it was, but it trailed up just enough and deep enough for Coy to scamper home and now back down just a run. Mustangs at least just trying to tie this one up in this inning. With only 1 out, they still got some more room to grow.
There is RBI number 20 for Felix as Coy scores run number 14 on his season. And now with the bases empty and 1 out, it is Justin George, who we said lined into a double play on a fantastic play by Kangri De La Santo out at second. Didn't necessarily take the most straight A to B point to make the grab, but he made the basket grab nonetheless and was easily able to double up Felix. Another first pitch ball from Wilfong. George hitting .231, 12 for 53 now, but does have 5 doubles and a triple. Definitely a slower start to the summer for JG.
He's got that pop. Last 2 nights ago, had to be able to talk to him, and I asked him, hey, what makes you, and what are some traits you have as being a 4-hole hitter? And he said, just lift. We'll see if that pays off.
Now for the second time this inning, Wilfong has fallen behind a Mustang hitter 3-0. Been a very eventful game so far. Each team has scored in each inning they've come to the plate. No zeros on that scoreboard. And it's another 4-pitch walk, second of the inning for Wilfong, and his 5th walk overall.
That's what the Mustangs need. After the out, need another jolt, need another restart, and they got it once again with another walk. Now McCollum with some speed. Justin George, not really the speediest guy, but McCollum can do a job here, put something deep enough. Just keep the line moving for the Mustangs in a big spot down 1.
George is yet to attempt to steal a bag yet this season. Trevor McCollum led off the second with a 4-pitch walk, and he came around to score on the sac fly by Parker Griffith. It's now 5 straight balls by Wilfong. Out of the 15 pitches he's thrown this inning, 12 of them have not found the zone. Make it now 13 and 6 straight as that breaking ball, in the words of Bob Uecker, was just a bit inside, not outside. So not the exact words, but
I like it. So again, a quick mound visit.
Noah Duttler, the assistant coach, could sense that he's coming out here to talk to his pitcher. Duttler, a Plainfield, Illinois native, his first summer on the coaching staff here of the Merchants.
Just trying to go over what to do in this situation. 1 out, George on first. Main goal here in this is to keep McCollum off the bases, because with his speed that he possesses, he'll find a way to scamper around the bases and put himself in a position to score. You got Philippi on deck, who's got some speed in a lefty matchup there. Right now, you want to say, put that ball low in the zone, try and get a ball on the ground, and that's exactly what the Mustangs are trying not to do. Put that ball on the ground for an inning-ending double play.
Some walking around going on in the Merchants' left center field bullpen. As now back-to-back hitters 3-0. Third batter out of 4 in this inning that Wilfong's gone 3-0 to. And 7 straight pitches outside the zone. Finally finds the zone on a fastball at borderline a strike. A few groans. And it's his 3rd walk of the inning. 2nd walk drawn by McCollum, and it puts runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out for Easton Philippi.
As big as they come, get a runner in scoring position. They got McCollum on first. It's looking up once again for the Mustangs. And we're looking to see if he's going to get a little bit of a defensive adjustment going on here. He's pointing out to right field, but with Philippi, it'll be that righty-lefty matchup. And that'll be a really nice time for Philippi to try and get a little bit of an advantage there and see if he can drive something in and try and get George home.
Philippi singled the left center his first time up, was stranded at 3rd in the 2nd. Kansas City, Missouri native.
Looking to get some talks. Looks like they were pointing at McCollum. Maybe a number dispute maybe going on, because numbers are a little bit different than the originals. But
that is one of the things, wearing this Tenderloin uniforms. It's not the normal number 7 in Trevor McCollum.
It would be weird for them to pull it out here after McCollum's 2nd at bat.
And they are going to call McCollum out.
Whoa.
They are going to call him out. And that is huge, as it's now 2 outs. McCollum called out.
Whoa.
Oh, it can only be probably scored as an offensive indifference, or that's just one of the problems. I mean, Johnny Coy's looking at his own lineup, and now they might be looking at Justin George, and he's going to be called out, or he's going to be sent back to 1st.
That is huge for the Merchants to put George back on 1st. Now with 2 outs, what a shift of events.
Very wacky turn of events here. Wrong uniform numbers. And now it's like McCollum's plate appearance never happened. But looking at the dugout, it appears McCollum is wearing his usual number 7.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, don't exactly understand what's going on. We'll try to get some clarification.
Very wacky. Very something you don't see very often, especially here in the Mink. I mean, you don't see stuff like that getting paused out. Here at Phil Welch this season, haven't seen anyone getting called out like that and sent back. So, odd. Very, very odd.
Nonetheless, it's a huge out for the Merchants. Now there's 2 men away, and the tying run is back at first base. Easton Philippi will finally dig in for his second at-bat of the night. It's one of those strange things. Baseball is a weird game. You never know what you might see on a nightly basis. I definitely can check that off my career baseball bingo card. But there goes to second George, who says he can't steal bases.
Here you go. Get it right back.
He'll register his first stolen base of the summer. A little bit maybe showmanship in terms of showing up. Maybe a little bit of the umpires, a little bit of the Merchants. And again, now some more chirping coming from the Mustangs dugout.
Oh, boy.
Now both umpires are coming over, and I think someone might be getting kicked out here. Everyone just kind of, and it's one of those things, once the umpires come over, a lot of those guys in the dugouts are just now looking at hey, was it me? Was it you? I don't know. But I definitely know some chirping was going on. They were already issued a warning earlier, and I think, I mean, it's kind of surprising they're getting a second one, but I guess it's like baseball. 3 strikes, you're out.
Man.
Second warning issued to the Mustangs dugout. Been a wild home half of the third. We've seen a runner called out for what we can only hope is, or understand is offensive indifference. Now we've seen another warning issued because of chirping. But one thing is maintained the same. Will Fong can still not find the zone.
Yep, that is right.
2-0 to Philippi. He's only thrown 4 total strikes in this inning. And again, now 3-0.
There you go. A perfect opportunity for Philippi to get that runner back. Right there with 2 outs. You want to issue that walk. Now you're evened out. Just with an out, act like nothing even happened. Then you put Gundelfinger up with another good spot. Just try and work that walk.
23rd pitch coming. And it's only the 5th strike from Will Fong. It's definitely whatever chirping has been going on has been finding its way into his brain, and he's battling some demons right now on the mound. Philippi's still in control. He swings, but he'll sky one, got under it, out to right. Smith has a beat on it, and he'll make the catch about 15 feet in front of the warning track to end the inning. But the Mustangs, again, they crawl within 1, but Carroll maintains their lead. We're a third of this way through a wild game so far. Merchants still lead the Mustangs 4-3. Nolan Oliver gets the Merchants started here in the bottom of the fourth as Jaron Guck out for his fourth inning of work. We're still looking for that first zero of the game, Jackson, and it's been a wild game so far. But Merchants still hold that one-run advantage. And Oliver will be first pitch swinging, but Chris Coy right there for out number one. First time Guck has retired a leadoff hitter here in tonight's ball game.
Just a nice job. I mean, that is exactly what you want. A different scene, a different pace. You know, a different outcome is all that Guck might need. We're looking to see if he can just try to get 2 more outs on that board. And the first donut maybe could give the Mustangs the type of firepower they need to take a lead.
So now it'll be Jack Lutheran. Doubled his first time up. Came around to score. Lutheran was 0 for 3 back on Tuesday in his last game against Jeff City. It was a game they won. They beat Jeff City back-to-back days, 5-0 and 3-1 as he grounds one. Coy, his second opportunity of the inning. And he makes it look easy. Throwing out Lutheran by a couple steps is now 2 quick outs here in the home-away fourth.
Looks like normal Guck out there. Just making sure his defense gets in the right spot. Gets Coy back-to-back opportunities. And now 2 outs on the board. The most breath Mustangs have had all night long. You just need a different outcome. Different outcome to work. And hopefully that gets some juice going for the bats. You just need to retire 1 more. Get your first 1, 2, 3 of the game.
It will be Jack Hartnagel. Tapped one back softly to Guck in the second. Still looking for that elusive first hit of the summer. He attends Highland Community College. Only his 3rd game here with Carroll. He was 0 for 2 on June 23rd against Sedalia, and then 0 for 3 on June 24th against Jeff City. 0 for 1 so far here tonight, and down 0-2 in the count. He pops one up. Griffith chasing after it. Will he get to it? He will! Making the nice basket catch and retiring the side. The first 1, 2, 3 inning of the game for Guck. First 0 thrown up, and we're headed to the bottom of the fourth here at Phil Welch. Carroll still leads 4-3. Bottom fourth here at Phil Welch. Jaron Guck throws up a 1, 2, 3 inning in the top half of the fourth. But we get a look back at that first trivia question. How many years will 2025 mark that the Kansas City Chiefs training camp will be held at Missouri Western State University? And the answer indeed is 15. 2025 is year number 15. So all 12 years of Andy Reid, a couple years before him, that Missouri Western State has been the training camp home of your Kansas City Chiefs, and under Patrick Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I'm going to show my Chiefs bias.
That's right.
Because I'm living in a golden age of Kansas City football sports. But again, back to baseball. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Tyler Gundelfinger, he's swinging first pitch. And that ball kicks off the heel of Hartnagel. And he throws out Gundelfinger. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here for Wilfong as he retires the leadoff man for the first time tonight.
That was a good play. I mean, hot corner called for a reason. Just tipped off that glove, but it just popped right into his hand, luckily, and a nice throw made. Third baseman lines out to the third baseman for the first out.
Now it'll be Parker Griffith. The birthday boy's 21 today, Jackson. He
Happy
can
birthday.
officially legally consume alcohol.
Love it. Love it. Happy birthday, Parker. Fellow Bearcat.
It's a Bearcat birthday. Bees, you know, trying. Drove in a run in the second on a sac fly. So it's not registered an official at-bat. Just has 1 plate appearance so far tonight. And Wilfong, after he struggled last inning with command, falls behind Griffith 2-0. It was Griffith's 11th RBI of the season. He's playing in his 18th game. He's swinging 2-0 off the end of the bat. Easy play for De La Santo. And much like Jaron Guck in the top half of this inning, Quinn Wilfong quickly has 2 up, 2 down.
Exactly what you wanted right there. So do you want a donut? All right, we'll give you a donut. Are you keeping it even the whole way through? This is what good baseball is all about. It's all about trying to get yourself, mixed up between both the teams. Just trying to keep each other, both these teams, off the board, and they've been doing just that.
Now it's a 9-hole Truman Bodenhausen. Worked a walk. Just his 7th of the season, his first time up. Now tries to get a little 2-out magic going. We've been used to so many 2-out rallies and 2-out hits and 2-out anything here for St. Joe. They're one of the best 2-strike and 2-out hitting teams in the Mink.
Comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Now Wilfong falls behind Bodenhausen 3-0. Fell behind 4 hitters last inning 3-0. Just the first time he's fallen behind 3-0 here. He again has thrown more balls than strikes this inning at 5-2. But no base runners to show for it. Bodenhausen, North Central Missouri College attendee, and became the first ever college player at any college level to win Gold Gloves at multiple positions in back-to-back years. Not saying he won in 2 straight years at 2 different positions, but he flares one out to right, and that'll fall. Truman Bodenhausen reaches on his 18th hit of the season with 2 outs here in the 4th, but
look at that, just making anything work right now with 2 outs in a 3-2 count. Bodenhausen got jammed on the inside half of the plate, just got the nice lumber on it and poked it into right field. That's probably what the Mustangs need. You back to the top of the order. Got guys who are comfortable in these types of situations, and Darius Freeman, Chris Cooley, Don Felix. Bodenhausen, he's got some speed. You got to get him around and try and tie this game up at 4.
Bodenhausen is 6 for 6 in attempting to steal bases this season. And he goes first pitch, changeup outside, low throw from Cowan, and only makes it about halfway to second. So Bodenhausen swipes bag number 7 and now is in scoring position for Darius Freeman.
Right there, Darius Freeman. He's got to do a job here. With 2 outs, you can't have another donut on the bags. Freeman's just got to poke one out into the outfield.
Freeman 1 for 2. He doubled to start the game. Came around to score. Freeman was an all-Mink first-team selection in the outfield last summer after he hit .327, 48 for 157, 11 doubles, 3 triples, a pair of homers, and 31 RBIs. He was also 25 for 28, swiping bags. He has 22 runs driven in so far this summer. He chops one down the first base line, and it just goes foul. One of those tough calls for an umpire to make a ball that bounces over the first base bag, but that one bounced and landed in foul territory. So Freeman stays alive here at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Freeman with that speed likely could have beat out over to first and probably put runners on the corners. But now 2 balls, 2 strikes has extra life. Maybe try and poke something out a little farther.
Freeman currently extended his hit streak to 6 games now as that one in the dirt clips Freeman on the foot.
That is not going to feel good for Freeman. Taking a light jog down to first, but now 2 runners on. Definitely not the type that you wanted there, but anything counts here for the Mustangs. We're going to get most likely a pitching change here with 2 runners on.
Joserius Martinez out of the dugout, and he's already pointing, so that'll do it for Quinn Wilfong. He just makes it 3 2/3 innings. He looked like he was going to roll to 4 innings. But a single from Bodenhausen and the hit by pitch from Freeman ends his evening. That'll do it for Quinn Wilfong. He leaves, but both those runners on will be charged to him. So we'll take a short break. Tell you all about the new Merchant pitcher right after this. Jackson Gwynn is the first arm called upon out of the bullpen. He's 2-2 this season. Has 2 saves in 7 2/3 innings, a 5.87 ERA. Definitely can bring it in velo. He's also 10 strikeouts to 3 walks. And Jackson, I mean, his job right now is just to get Chris Coy and get the Merchants out of this inning and maintain the lead.
It is. You know, right now with Chris Coy, who definitely knows how to get bat to the ball, he's going to have to be a little bit smart here. But all you have to worry about, don't even worry about the runners on the base. You got to focus on Coy. Make sure he fumbles on something. But Gwynn's put in a tough spot, but he's got a little breathing room with 2 outs.
Coy chases one low in the zone, grounded right to Hartnagel. He'll go the short way to second, and barely beats Freeman there to record the 3rd out. Mustangs threaten with 2 outs, but Jackson Gwynn does his job. We're headed to the 5th here at Phil Welch. Your Mustangs still trail 4-3 as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. So we get a look at the Mink League standings here on June the 27th as the calendar gets ready to flip over to July. Mustangs right now pacing the league, 14-2 in the Mink. Clardina right behind them though, and then it's a bit, then Chillicothe, but then it's a logjam. Again, 6 of these 7 teams will make the playoffs. And at that bottom, Jeff City 9-12, Carroll 8-13, Nevada 7-14, and Sedalia 6-13. So definitely those 4 through 6 spots are still up for grabs, Jackson. And right now, Carroll giving the Mustangs a fight, really giving them all they can handle.
Really are. You know, the Mustangs controlling that top. Clarinda's right there with you. But in that middle spot, you know, if you look right there, it goes 7, 6. No, it goes 9, 8, 7, 6 right there in that log jam in the Mink. And so it's going to be tough to compete with Clardina and St. Joe so far this year. Have not completed last night's game. That'll have a nice deciding factor on the Mink League standings, especially if the Mustangs cannot seem to pull away with the win tonight.
It'll be Martin Smith who leads off. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. So we are getting clarification. If you remember back, Smith pops it up, shallow center, in comes Freeman, out goes Coy. Coy will make the grab to retire Martin Smith. But as I was saying, if you remember back in the 3rd when the Mustangs were threatening, Trevor McCollum was called out because the number he is wearing was not the one that matches the lineup card. So
I had a
he's
feeling.
in the same, the batting order is correct, but again, the numbers are not, and I think that's just one of the things that as jerseys were being passed out, again, these aren't the normal white, red, or black Mustangs jerseys. That one ripped hard and passed under the diving glove of Gundelfinger to left for Bradley Soto for a 1-out single, but it's just hard when you're passing out jerseys like this, making sure they match the lineup card, and unfortunately, McCollum's number did not match.
And, you know, in the game of baseball, you got to have stuff that matches like that. And, you know, it's going to be a tough situation there. McCollum, you know, had to, you know, make sure, you got to make sure those things are correct.
So now it'll be Fernando Espinal. He's 1 for 1. His last time up, though, he walked and came around to score. Jaron Guck trying to make it through 5 innings. Will be the 3rd time this season Guck would go 5 innings. If he can find a way here against the meat of this Merchant Orders. There goes to second. Soto throw down was a little high, and Soto gets in under the tag.
It's a good jump there by Soto. Griffith's throw was on line, just a little bit high, had the pace. But Soto with that speed swipes underneath the tag of Bodenhausen, and now only 1 out. Another runner in scoring position for Espinal, who's been pretty hot in here tonight.
Pitch is upstairs, now 3-1 to Espinal. No real movement out in the Mustang pen. So Coach Johnny Coy is going to ride with arguably his best starter in Guck. So he can get out of this one-out jam.
That's what he needs there to do it. Just another payoff pitch on 3 balls and a strike. Get him back even. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And with Espinal, a free swinger, you can really try and put something a little bit just outside the zone. Like want to see if he can throw maybe that slider that can maybe cut across, get Espinal swinging.
Full count offering inside, and he takes it off the hand. Got going to try to come and argue that he leaned into it. He's also a bit frustrated that he hits Espinal, but Espinal reaches for the 3rd time tonight. Now puts runners at 1st and 2nd for Brock Moore.
That's a tough one. I mean, it did look like it kind of hit on that upper elbow area. Maybe he might have tried to lean in. I don't know. It's too close to call there. But nonetheless, 2 runners on and an out. Guck, I mean, you want to say Coy right now, when do you want to try and go? And he is going to have a mound visit, and maybe we might see something come out of the pen. Nope, never mind. It's just going to be a flip. But like I said, you never know. Right now, maybe another runner on. Maybe it's time to go to the pen, but we'll see how much longer he wants to put trust in Guck.
Moore is 0 for 1. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the 1st and then grounded out to Coy to 2nd. Double play is very much in order and would get Guck out of the inning. First pitch fastball is high and in tight. Moore, an Urbandale, Iowa kid, currently attends Des Moines Community College. He was 2 for 3 back on June the 22nd. Both runners looked like they wanted to take off for a double steal. Soto and Espinal, they do possess that speed. 9 stolen bases from Espinal. Soto has 3. And there goes both runners, but fouling it back was Moore. Both got a good jump. Maybe you'd like to see the inside move.
Yeah. Now with a ball to work with, now 2 strikes, you might want to see maybe a quick pitch out over to Griffith or just maybe a high fastball, giving Griffith some time maybe to throw down if they're going to want to try it again.
I wouldn't necessarily say pitch out. I just think it's, showing off that you possess the move to pick off or just stepping off. Not going this time. Moore stays alive. 13th game for Moore. 5 for 30 on his season. Struggled to find those hits, but he walks 5 times. Another 1-2 offering. Skied way up in the air. Gundelfinger out into foul territory, and he'll make the grab for out number 2.
As big as they come, Gundelfinger reeling it in close to the gate. Did a good job there making the 2nd out. Now breathing room for Guck. Trying to get out of this one with another donut on the board. And keep this a 1-run game for the Mustangs. A big out coming up here with De Los Santo.
Gangry De Los Santo, 0 for 2, but does have an RBI. Soto wanted to go again for 3rd, but he holds up, and Gangry De Los Santo waves and misses.
All right, now he's trying to keep him put. He's doing a good job so far.
De Los Santo still looking for his first hit this season against the Mustangs. That one's off the hands, but he swung and popped it up. That one can definitely not feel good.
Not at all. He's looking a little shooken up on the left side there. Right on those hands, right on the bone. That is not going to feel good. And now down 0-2 makes it a little bit even worse with 2 outs. As he's in a big spot here. He's got a big time to try and drive some of these runs home. See if he can make it out.
Giving De Los Santos plenty of time. I mean, those are ones you swing and you expect to make contact with the bat. That one got him on the fingers. De Los Santos at one point had a 6-game hit streak, but it was broken against these Mustangs on June the 21st. On a night he went 0 for 4. Did draw a walk, but also struck out twice. Currently sits at 12 hits this season, playing in his team-leading 21st game. Just hoping that his bat can come alive as, again, the season that can seem like a marathon is really starting to come into a final sprint as we near the July calendar turn. That 0-2 pitch misses.
Gawks look pretty solid so far this half of the inning. Big pitch.
De Los Santos stays alive, able to foul back a tough curveball by Guck. Guck looking for strikeout number 4. He's had 5 strikeouts in his last 2 innings. He had 10 strikeouts on his first start of the season, and there's going to be a pickoff move. Guck had to throw it because he went with the jump turn. Now he's out. If he tries to pick off again, he has to get him out or it'll go down as a violation and a free ball in the AB. 1-2 offering, swung on and missed at the high heat. Strikeout number 4, second time Kengri De Los Santos has etched his name on the Gucket list. Guck strands a pair. We're headed to the home half of the 5th. Mustangs are looking to put together a rally and retake the lead as Carroll still leads 4-3 here on YouTube. So we get a look at other games going on around the Mink tonight as we near the 9 o'clock hour here in St. Joseph, Missouri. Sedalia at Jeff City. Jeff City leads that one 5-4 in the bottom of the 6th. Chillicothe's at Clarinda. Chillicothe leads Clarinda 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and in the bottom of the 3rd, the Nevada Griffins lead the Ban Johnson Giants 1-0. But here in Phil Welch, we've got ourselves a doozy brewing. Merchants lead the Mustangs 4-3, scoring early, but both offenses have gone quiet. So now Jackson Gwynn got the final out of the 4th. Looking to go 1-2-3 in the 5th, and he jams Dom Felix That's going to be an easy play for De Los Santo to retire Felix for out number 1.
Perfect start for Gwynn. Just wanted to get that first batter out. Just keep the train going for the Merchants. Throw up another 0 is definitely going to be in the cards. But for the Mustangs, it's all about tying this ball game. It's all about taking baby steps. You need some more base runners on in this middle half. And George, who's been predominantly a big walk guy here in the last couple of games for these Mustangs, looking to try and manufacture something.
George 0 for 1. He walked and stole second his last time up. His first pitch from Gwynn, down in the dirt. George, in his first summer here with the Stangs, comes from William Jewell University, where he hit .352 this past spring in 48 games. He had 162 at-bats. Slugged 12 doubles, a triple, and 8 homers as that one popped down the right field line. Smith will give it a look, but it's out of play.
Yeah, George, someone who possesses a lot of power. And someone, if you give something easy to get, he could easily put that over the wall. And that is right in the alley, what the Mustangs are looking for now.
Off the end of the bat, chopped up the third base line. Nice play by Hardingle, but George will beat it out for the infield single.
Nice job there by George. Put something in play. Slow chopper to third. That's going to be a tough play to make from Hartnagel. And George right there. Base runner on with an out. See if the Mustangs can manufacture another run via the base paths.
So now it'll actually be Easton Philippi, as I guess Trevor McCollum was batting out of order back in the second. That's just one of those interesting things, because the lineup we received had Trevor McCollum in the 5-hole, but somewhere between the lineup that was posted in the locker room to the lineup that made it into the umpire and Carroll coach's hands had Philippi ahead of McCollum.
Interesting, very interesting.
Philippi's 1 for 2. That one hit was a single back in the second. But he's quickly ahead here of Gwynn, 2-0. But he gets jammed. Grounder over to Oliver. Goes to DeSanto for 1. Back over to first. And it's an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play, as that 1-run deficit continues to elude the Stangs. We're through 5 here at Phil Welch. Mustangs still trail 4-3 as we're headed to the 6th. Bearcat to Bearcat goes the ball. Jaron Guck, 5 innings, gives up 4 runs, strikes out 4. And now he gives the ball over to Andrew Clark. Clark making his 7th appearance on the season. He's 1-0 with a save in 8 1/3 innings, 6.48 ERA, but 12 strikeouts to 7 walks. Opponents are only hitting 218 off him, but Jackson, it's a nice start of the summer for Clark. Then he had a couple outings where command eluded him. But these last couple outings, he's been very good. And started getting back to that Andrew Clark that we all know.
You know, he's been talking about it to us recently. He just said he's trying to find back in his groove. It's his last summer playing ball, looking to just have some fun, but also, you know, keep up what he's been putting off. You know, he didn't play much at Northwest last year, got hurt on a Tommy John, just wanting to get back to the game, and he says he's been having fun this year. Got to talk to him today, had some college football trivia if you guys want to watch that video in the next couple hours, but Andrew Clark back here, Phil Welch.
Shane Cowan starts off the Merchant 6th. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Right now, that one hit is the difference in the game. Now Cowan's going to be hit. Are they going to appeal? It looked like he did swing. We'll see if he appeals. No appeal, so it's a leadoff hit by pitch. Clarking wanting an appeal, but it looks like none will be given to him. As for the 4th time tonight, Merchants have their leadoff man on.
It was close. It looked like Cowan had those hands going around. Might have just stopped, but no out base runner could be the deciding factor for the Merchants as we head into that later half of the game. If they can get a little bit of a rally started, Clark last time he was out got a bit erratic. Hopefully this doesn't jamble him up too much.
Now it'll be Nolan Oliver, who's 0 for 2. We'll see if Cowan maybe tries to steal. Only one successful attempt. He's 1 for 1, but with Clark's slow delivery home, Cowan can get a good read on a breaking ball or a changeup. He might try. Now the count goes 2-0 to Oliver. Oliver, at a University of Colorado, Colorado Springs attendee. Picked up his 5th hit of the season against the Stangs. He's hit safely in all 4 meetings. As there, thought he might just try to get in the head was Cowan. Taking a few steps towards second base, but then put on the brakes, but Oliver takes ball 3. Three 3-1, lined into left field for a hit. Back-to-back base runners reach here in the 6th. And now Andrew Clark finds himself in yet another jam, as there is hit number 5 and successful hit in the 4th game against the Stangs for Oliver.
Oliver's found a pitch he liked, up kind of in that high area in the strike zone. Just got the hands around quick enough. Clark doesn't, you know, have the most velocity on this team, so Oliver had a good opportunity to get around on it quick. And now back-to-back base runners with still no outs for the Merchants.
Jack Lutheran in the 8-hole. One hit was a double, and he came around to score back in the 2nd. He squares around, trying to lay down a sacrifice, but ball is low and outside. That double was the first hit in his 3rd game here against the Stangs for Lutheran. You like Lutheran squaring around for the bunt, Jackson? I mean, what's the strategy going through your mind? Especially, I mean, I know 8-hole hitters, so it is your bottom of the order. You're just looking to get the guys over and hopefully turn the lineup over?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Just trying to get the guys over, especially with just an out. Trying to flip it over to the top of the order like you mentioned. Just try and get all these guys home as he gets one down, but it's going to go foul. But right there, I mean, it's just all about moving it over, keeping the line moving. You don't want to put too much power threat. You don't want to put one on the ground accidentally and get it a double play. Right now, just move those runners over. That's exactly right.
Now with 2 strikes, you have to assume Lutheran's going to swing. But you never know. Crazier things happen. He does swing in on a breaking ball, gets under it, out towards left center. Freeman has a beat on it. Cowan will tag, but not head to third as Freeman squeezes it for out number 1.
Big out there. Nice job by Clark, giving him something that he can't really do too much with. Got underneath it. It was a high up fastball. All he had to do was just swing at it with 2 strikes and got underneath it just enough, and it was flared short enough that both runners are going to stay put and double play in commission to end the inning. But Clark, a big out there to try and get some of that composure back.
Now this is the guy to get. The 9-hole hitter, Jack Hartnagel. Hartnagel 0 for 7 on his season. If you can get him to roll over and ground into a double play and not allow this top of the order to come to bat with runners in scoring position, that is the ideal scenario right now for Clark. First pitch is up above the belt for ball 1. Talked about it, Clark comes from Northwest Missouri State. Arm injuries, though, troubled his last spring.
Love to see the Bearcat connections here this game with Guck, Clark, and Griffith behind the plate.
Clark is a returner from last summer's roster. He appeared in only 10 games, but he did start 4 of them, and he was 1-0 in 31 and 2/3 innings with a 5.12 ERA. Now we've seen him more blossom into a high leverage guy out of the pen. Hartnagel swings through a changeup. Clark had 26 strikeouts in those 31 and 2/3 innings. He's one of the anchors of this dominant Mustang pen.
He was talking today in the podcast a couple nights ago in the All-Star game. Got to play shortstop. Said it was one of the coolest moments getting to turn a double play with Michael and Frank in the infield. Said he hasn't played in a fielding and batting role in 6 years, and he said definitely in his last summer of playing baseball, he said he's going to remember those types of moments with these guys for a long time. And it's just cool to hear from him personally how the All-Star game said he said it probably wasn't the most exciting to watch for the fans, but it meant a lot for the guys and the pitchers who got to be able to play in that game a couple nights ago.
Clark trying to get Hartnagel right here. Top of the lineup stands on deck in Martin Smith. The 2-2. Flared out, and that will get through into right field. Cowan is going to hold at third as McCollum up with the throw, and it was a good throw. But now the bases are loaded for Martin Smith and the top of this Merchant order.
Beautiful piece of hitting by Hartnagel. Put it in that big gap. It looks like George and it looked like Bodenhausen were kind of trailing off in that side of the gap there. Opened up a big hole, and he did a good job finding it. But a good throw in right field by McCollum to hold the runner at third, but with only an out. What you're thinking here for Clark, top of the order, put something on the ground. Trust that defense in this situation.
Smith 1 for 3 tonight. He's only driven in 6 RBIs on his season. Clark drops in a breaking ball for strike 1. Probably the most important at-bat for either side here tonight. For Carroll, trying to put more runs and extend this lead after both offenses have gone cold. For Clark, it's to do the exact opposite. Keep this score right where it is. That one is jammed. Over to Coy. Over to Bodenhausen for 1. Over to first. Not in time, and 2 runs will score as George was waiting for the umpire to make a call. What a turn of events for both sides as Carroll plates 2 on the fielder's choice. As Oliver never stopped running from second.
Heads up base running by Oliver. You love to see a Coy, a good flip to Bodenhausen. It looked like it was just going to be just late. And George, right there in that moment, you got to watch that runner who's going to third because he was waiting up for the call, and Oliver took advantage.
So Smith now has 8 RBIs, and he'll go first pitch, and that ball gets away from Griffith. Big turn by Smith at second. But just one of those plays that ball wasn't hit the hardest. Coy had a little bit of a bobble, but it was a great feed to Bodenhausen, made a great turn. But then, I mean, if you're George, it's one of those, yes, the umpire made a late call, but you always got to be thinking the next play, and Oliver just kept running. And now this lead is the largest it's been tonight at 3 runs. It's Bradley Soto. It's 1 for 2. Walked and scored back in the first. Now Clark falling behind 3-0. It's just unfortunate for Clark. Another outing giving up multiple runs. Command has avoided him a little bit in this inning.
He just can't dig a hole too deep that he can't get himself out of. And right now with 2 outs, 3-1 count, you just got to put something in Clark's wheelhouse on the zone. Keep Soto from putting one in the outfield and keeping Smith on the base paths.
Goal right now is just to keep the lead right where it is. Soto chases one. Down in the dirt on that changeup. Changeup has been good tonight. He's talked about how he's been working on that. And it has been good tonight. Fernando Espinal, who the Mustangs have yet to retire tonight, stands on deck. The full count offering. There goes the third is Smith. Soto stays alive. Carroll doubling up their average runs on the road. Just about from 3.84 to 6. They only average 4.33 runs in general this season. But again, 6 tonight. Came in with the least amount of runs scored. They found ways as there goes the third again. Smith. But Soto strikes out swinging to end the threat, but not before Carroll plates 2 on 2 hits. 1 man left. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Mustangs see if they have a rally in them. Find themselves now down by 3 as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Mustangs currently riding an 11-game win streak here at Phil Welch. That is in jeopardy tonight. Down 6-3. It'll be Trevor McCollum to lead off. Jackson Gwynn back out for his second full inning, but it's been something we have not seen out of the Mustangs, especially against the Merchants. They have yet to score less than 10 runs against the Merchants this season. They currently average 9.86 runs inside the confines of Phil Welch. It really has been the Merchants. They punched first, and they haven't looked back. They got 2 off Andrew Clark in the top half of this inning. Mustangs just looking to scratch across anything. So McCollum finds himself in an 0-2 hole. 6, 7, 8 hitters here for the Mustangs, wearing their special St. Joseph Tenderloin uniforms. Jerseys will be auctioned off for the highest bidders. They won on Tenderloin night earlier this season. But now they're going to need their first real big rally here tonight. That one grounded up the middle. Oliver to his left. He throws off the bag. Is Lutheran. He can't get the tag down. And there's a leadoff man on the air by Oliver.
Right there, exactly what the Mustangs are looking to dial up. Any way possible, get a runner like McCollum on base. Likely with his speed, he's going to be stealing to second at least, getting a runner in scoring position. But Gundelfinger, keep doing the same thing, just putting the ball in play. Let the Merchants make the mistakes and just see what you can dial up.
So now it'll be Tyler Gundelfinger. 0 for 2 on his line so far tonight. That play has actually been officially counted as an E6. So Oliver made a good beat on the ball. But an errant throw gives the Mustangs a leadoff base runner.
Right there, Gwynn is trying to stay composed as he is. Gundelfinger, one of the more patient hitters on this lineup. Looking to produce, get the ball in play. Try and get McCollum at least over into scoring position with no outs.
Gundelfinger, big rip. He finds himself now down 1-2. McCollum was down 0-2 and found a way on. Big hole between first and second as De Los Santo playing at double play depth and even more. Gundelfinger stays alive. He hit .251 at his past spring at Hillsborough Community College. 34 hits and 166 at-bats. Did clob a homer. Also drove in 21 in 45 games. Taking his talents to Arkansas Tech to finish out his collegiate baseball career. There goes McCollum for second, but Gundelfinger having to swing at anything close, fouls one straight back.
I mean, right there, you know, you like the aggressiveness from both of the boys. McCollum had a good jump over to second. Gundelfinger wanting to try and maybe see if he can put a hit and run in play, but right now McCollum, we'll see if he wants to try and go once again. Gwynn's got that fastball that it's been hard for Gundelfinger to catch up.
Gwynn did record the final 2 outs back on that June 21st matchup. He did give up a walk, but he got the final 2 outs. That ball in the dirt. McCollum got a great read, and he'll be into second base with no throw on the pass ball.
That is huge for the Mustangs. Another pass ball opportunity. They like to swipe him any way they can. And good reads from these guys on the base paths, watching it all the way through off the glove of the catcher. And now with 2 strikes, Gundelfinger looking to stay in protect mode.
Gundelfinger currently riding an 11-game hit streak. 11-game on-base streak, excuse me. And that one lined over to right. In comes Smith, but he got a great jump on it. McCollum will tag and head to third. A long throw from Smith was a good one. But now with 1 out, runner just 90 feet away for the Stangs.
Beautiful swing from Gundelfinger, put it on the opposite side of the field and deep enough. And now McCollum just 90 feet away. It's a 3-run deficit, but as long as you can chip away small by small and put up zeros from the pen, Mustangs could look to try and see if they can work something with just an out in this inning, or if they want to play the long game, they still got some time in this game to work with.
Still have 11 outs to play with. So now it'll be the birthday boy. Parker Griffith has already driven in a run tonight. Looking for that birthday hit.
Be a big one.
Griffith only appeared in 4 games last summer. This is game already 18 for him, so he's seen his production jump up a truckload and then some. Hitting .241. Got his 11th RBI, looking for his 12th to cut into this lead. Takes a fastball outside from Gwynn. Gwynn, upper 80s velocity on that fastball, a bit faster than the Mustangs saw with Will Fong. And his command has been razor sharp here tonight. So now that breaking ball runs inside, and now runners will be at the corners with 1 out for Truman Bodenhausen.
That's huge. Parker Griffith on, runners on the corners. Griffith not much speed, but you might want to see him go for second here to give the Mustangs a 1-out, 2-runner in scoring position threat. And Bodenhausen, his whole goal right here, just put it in play. Try and get McCollum at least to come home. Advance Griffith into scoring position would be the most ideal situation, but Gwynn in a tough spot now. Just trying to get an out on the board and keep the Mustangs quiet.
Griffith has stolen 3 bags, and especially with runners on the corners, you never know if they would throw down and not allow maybe McCollum to sneak home. Bodenhausen's 1 for 1. He's singled and walked. He's driven in 19 runs. Call him the RBI man because this is no ordinary 9-hole hitter. .296 hitter. Gwynn right back in the zone for strike 1. Griffith not a big lead over at first. And Gwynn now way ahead 0-2. Is plenty of groans coming from the crowd on that one as they did not like that call, thought that ball was lower than the previous called strike. Bodenhausen in an 0-2 hole. Stays alive though.
Doing a good job there on that one. Payoff pitch, try and foul it off, keep it alive. Definitely wasn't in your zone last pitch. Just got to keep it going.
Bodenhausen last played on Tuesday. He was 2 for 6 with 2 RBIs at Chillicothe. There goes Griffith for second, but again, Bodenhausen having to protect. Fouls one straight back. It's Bodenhausen's 3rd chance against Carroll. He's 1 for 10 combined between June 21st and 22nd. Did drive in 2 RBIs and scored 2 runs on June 21st. Looking to come through with a big hit and flip the lineup card. Griffith goes again for second. Throw is high, and they will just allow Griffith to steal second as Oliver came over and cut the throw off. So now it's 2 in scoring position, and a hit here from Bodenhausen could potentially erase those 2 runs Carroll got in the top half of this inning and cut the lead back to 1.
It would be ideal. Nice job by Oliver to cut it off, try and see if he can get McCollum, but Griffith, love the aggressiveness, putting the Mustangs in a good spot.
Throw was a little high from Cowan, so not even sure if they had let it go through if they would have gotten Griffith, as now Bodenhausen has worked himself back to a full count. And the ever so dangerous Darius Freeman standing in the on-deck circle. Definitely some movement out in the left center pen for Carroll.
Pretty far out there, yeah. Yeah, Freeman's definitely a guy you don't want to bring up with bases loaded with just an out.
The 3-2, staying alive. Bodenhausen giving Gwynn all he can handle. Here in this 2-2 count. And a pitch on the outside. Good eye there from Bodenhausen. Now it's a full count. Looks like a righty up in the Carroll bullpen. Even with the lefty Freeman on deck. Full count, called! Strike 3, right at the belt. And now the boos are raining down upon our home plate umpire. I have to say, Jackson, I think I got to agree. That one, I feel like we've definitely had some ones that have been a little bit lower called for balls. But a huge strikeout for Jackson Gwynn.
I'm going to agree with you as well, Truman. It looked a little outside. Freeman taking an extra long walk up to the batter's box after that, and that is going to be a huge strikeout for Gwynn. It looks like he's pointing down.
They're going to intentionally walk Darius Freeman. What a move here by manager Joserius Martinez from Carroll. The intentional walk given to Darius Freeman. It puts the tying run on. But I think he likes something against the youngin' Chris Coy.
I think with Coy's type of swing, he genuinely likes to sit on that back foot. I think with Gwynn's fastball, that might be a good call. He might try and put it up and tight for Coy. And now with 2 outs, bases loaded, Coy, the biggest at-bat here in the night.
Coy is yet to really have his Mustangs moment, but none bigger a spot than this. 0 for 1 on his line, a sac fly in the first, a walk in the third, and he grounded into a fielder's choice to end the fourth. So the guy Gwynn came in and got when Gwynn relieved starter Quinn Wilfong in that fourth inning with 2 on and 2 out. Now he's got an even bigger spot. Bases loaded, 2 outs with Chris Coy.
Coy, like we've been mentioning all season long, despite the age, he's so mature in how he plays the game. He's so smart. I trust no one else here but Coy.
Crowd getting into it. As Coy fouls one back. Gwynn ahead 1-2. Haven't seen many breaking balls out of Gwynn. It's mainly been fastballs and a sprinkling of changeups, but he's really just hammered the fastball. Espinal out and left, pretty deep, but then Soto and Smith in center and right at medium depth. Infield actually shaded around a little bit towards the right. It's De Los Santo definitely in the hole. Oliver playing at what would be considered double play depth, not his normal shortstop position. Bases are full of Stangs. Fastball outside.
Good look from Coy right there. I mean, it's in protect mode, but watches that all the way out, and it cut just enough for Coy to say no, and now evens that out.
Three and two. Runners will be off and moving on the pitch. And with Darius Freeman's speed at first, a ball in the gap, we'll see if Johnny Coy elects to send him. Tension building here in the bottom of the 6th. Full count offering. And they're going to say it hit Coy's bat, and it's going to be a foul tip, and Trevor McCollum has been thrown out of the game. Boos are raining down. McCollum's gone. Coy might be gone. Assistant coach is gone. Unbelievable. I mean, speechless right now. Carroll gets out of it. Trevor McCollum has been ejected. Mustangs pitching assistant coach has been ejected.
Wow.
And Johnny Coy is arguing his mind on the home plate umpire. He's just walking away.
I cannot believe this.
Boos are raining down from the crowd. This might get ugly, folks, but nonetheless, the Mustangs strand the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. They're down to their final 9 outs. They still trail 6-3. Drama to end the bottom of the 6th if you're just joining us. The Mustangs had bases loaded and 2 outs. Chris Coy full count. Pitch clearly hit his elbow guard, but the umpire ruled it as a foul tip strikeout. And Trevor McCollum ended up getting ejected, and one of the Mustangs' assistant coaches was also tossed.
Man.
It looks like maybe Johnny Coy was also might have been tossed too. I'm not seeing him in the dugout. We'll get more updates, but Trevor McCollum was tossed from right field. Looks like Logan Miller takes over for him, but we'll get more clarification. But nonetheless, Carroll still leads 6-3 as it's in Franca to come out of the pen, and Fernando Espinal greets him with a rip down the left field line. Throw into second base. It's going to get him out. What a throw from left field by Easton Philippi. The normal catcher guns down Espinal. Out number 1.
What a throw and what a momentum shift between these fans and these umpires. It's just been something they needed right there. Espinal lines it down, but the tag from Coy, amazing. Espinal gunned down for the first out. And this is the type of things that can shift a game so quickly for a team and the fans.
Fans definitely got into it in the bottom half. Boos reigned throughout the half inning. But Franca is using that momentum and coming out pumping strikes as Brock Moore's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Franca making his 5th appearance. He's 1-0 in 5 1/3 innings. 3.53 ERA, 2 strikeouts to 4 walks. But so far his command has been razor sharp through just 3 pitches.
Looking good. 0-2 now. He's got the momentum of the fans behind his back. Mustangs Nation is not going to let something like that slide. They're going to be behind Franca this whole inning through.
And they did a go around. He did. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Brock Moore is gone. Down swinging. And you know, Jackson, again, we are the Mustangs broadcast,
yes.
So we want them to win. And again, I try not. Again, we both played sports, so you never want to say the umpire's at fault.
Right.
But it's also one of those things. You can't make the game about yourself, man.
Yes.
Like, you're just
I
there,
know.
and again, unfortunately, no replays in the Mink. But it's just one of those things that, if for some reason the Mustangs have had chances, the innings 1 through 3 when they scored 1 run, they left runners on. So it's not that bottom of the 6th is going to come back to bite them. It's just unfortunate that that's the way that half of the inning had to end.
And you know what? I agree. You know, when you make, we've seen it in the NBA, we've seen it in refs. The ref culture nowadays just hasn't been the best in the sense that calls these days, they try and make it to where they want, maybe sometimes they want drama. Maybe sometimes they want those tensions to rise. And that's just something that it should stay out of the game. But I'm not saying that's what happened, but.
Then Franca continues to throw strikes. He's come in, and it's been 6 pitches, 6 strikes.
Right here, kind of be a clean slate. And Franca's working well, trying to go 1-2-3 in the inning. Just hope to see the Mustangs maybe after all that feud can come back and put some bat to the ball and kind of leave that moment behind them.
Cangri De Los Santo, 0 for 3 on his line, 2 strikeouts. Does have an RBI, though, on a ground out back all the way in the 3rd, which time currently sits at 9:38. Seems like forever ago. Franca, in his first set, he's a returner from last summer. 16 appearances last summer. He was 3-0 in 20 1/3 innings, 20 strikeouts to 7 walks, and a 3.10 ERA. De Los Santos stays alive, fouling off that breaking ball. 10's Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Made 8 appearances for them this past season in 7 innings. 11.57 ERA. And opponents were hitting 406 off him, so not in Franca's best stuff, but he has come up here to St. Joe and been absolute nails.
He sure has. He looks so composed. He loves it out here. He's been talking to us the last couple times in the broadcast. Just an overall really chill guy. And, it's kind of translates to that on the mound. He doesn't really get overworked over himself. He's pitched against some really tough teams like Texas, Kansas, and Texas A&M.
That full count pitch lofted deep to left. Philippi has a beat on, but he's going to watch it fly. Cangri De Los Santo had been looking for his first hit this season. He was 0 for 11, and his first hit is a massive one. A solo homer puts the Merchants up 4.
What a swing. 3-2, found the inside fastball, and drilled it. No wind here. That was all bat. And what a moment and what a score there for the Merchants. And now a 4-run ball game. It's looking out of hand, and it's getting close to getting out of hand for these Mustangs.
Mustangs just can't let the things that have gone against them, let them affect their play. They've had plenty of chances. Carroll pitching is wavering. They just haven't been able to come through with a big hit yet. It's Shane Cowan, the catcher. 1 for 2, RBI single. Then he was hit by a pitch in the 6th and came around to score. And he's hit by the pitch for the 2nd consecutive inning now.
Frankie just can't let it get to him. Probably lost a little bit of control there, but you can't give too many runners on. And With 2 outs, he's got to just get something in, get out of this inning before it gets too late. And Carroll's moving. The most we've seen them move all season long.
It's De Los Santos' 3rd homer of the season. Just the 5th homer that Mustang pitching has given up.
And to mention the field dimensions here at Phil Welch, especially to the part of the field that he hit it, you got to hit something pretty far here, especially with these wood bats coming out of the college season. It's a pretty hard ballpark to hit it out, and he got all of it.
And Philip, he knew it. He turned his back, made about 5 hard steps, and then pulled up and watched that ball sail into the Carroll bullpen. First homer in Franca has given up this summer. Now it's Nolan Oliver. Oliver 1 for 3. He singled and scored last inning. Franca got the first 2 hitters. Espinal was retired to start the inning on a fantastic throw by Philippi to gun him down at second. Then he struck out Brockmore on 3 pitches, but with a full count homer by Kengri De Los Santo, and then he drills Shane Cowan. 1-2 to Oliver, chases the breaking ball.
Right here, perfect opportunity for Franca to probably go back to that off speed, get the Mustangs out of the inning, recoup in the dugout, and get some of these bats going.
Oliver stays alive. Oliver, with that hit in the 6th, has now hit safely in all 4 meetings between these 2 opponents. It was his 13th hit of the season. Now breaking ball inside corner, called strike 3. Second time Oliver's gone down looking tonight. But 1 home in the inning on a solo homer by Kengri De Los Santo extends the lead to 4. Mustangs are down to their final 9 outs. Do they have a rally in them? As it's time for the 7th inning stretch, as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. After tonight, the Mustangs are home tomorrow. Saturday night fireworks against Sedalia at 7 p.m. And then they have a nice couple of off days. Haven't had some off days in a while. Don't play again till July 1st when they head out to Chillicothe down Highway 36 to the east. 7:05 first pitch between them and the Mudcats. But here tonight, Jackson, I mean, It has been a good one. We've seen runs. We've seen good pitching. Things have gotten a little chippy. But right now, Carroll leads by 4.
Yeah, it's a blood brawl. It's getting to that point. It's all out now, and everything's come out. Emotions, flares, drama, pitching, hitting, every aspect of the game has been here. And what a Friday night, Truman, on the call with you. We've gotten to witness it all unfold here at Phil Welch. And Mustangs looking for some life here into the late innings.
So it'll be Dom Felix who leads off. Felix 0 for 1. He's drove in a run on a sac fly, and he walked. Jackson DeWitt out for his third full inning of work. And he has Felix down 0-2. Doesn't chase the breaking ball, 1-2. Mustangs have left 5 base runners throughout these 6 innings. Right now, that is the difference in the game. Felix battling with DeWitt here to start the 7th. Felix, a Tucson, Arizona native. He comes from the dry heat of Arizona here to the humid heat of what is Missouri. Hasn't been too humid, but definitely the heat creeping up there in temperature. The 10th Emporia State. Jackson, you wonder if DeWitt, it's been fastball, fastball, fastball in this at bat. The one breaking ball he threw was the one ball. Think he keeps riding that fastball, or do you think he tries to drop in the breaking ball again?
Right now with Felix, I think you want to go off speed.
It is a fastball. Grounded foul down the line. Just an update. Johnny Coy was also ejected. Part of that scrum in the 6th. So Mustangs lost Trevor McCollum, Johnny Coy, and maybe an assistant coach, but maybe that ejection we tabbed as the assistant coach getting ejected was Johnny Coy getting ejected. Down, Mustangs are down their head coach and down by 4.
Right now, crunch time, Felix is having a good at-bat. Like you mentioned, DeWitt with that fastball. He's been pretty heavy on it so far in that later half of the at-bat. I'd like to see maybe an off-speed.
Goes fastball again. Felix fouls it straight back again. We will keep doing it again. Pitch number 8 coming up here to Felix.
Nice job by Felix here, working it back into a 2-2 count. You want to have the first runner on base for the rest of this game. Ideally, this is what you want to get. It's that leadoff runner on.
Again, Felix fouls one off.
Love it. He's keeping it professional, swinging at stuff that's close, keeping it alive. He's such a disciplined hitter as he is. Truman, you like to call him old reliable, and in these situations, he is reliable as ever in those 2 strike counts.
They need his veteran leadership right here to stay composed, not let the outside sources affect his play. 2-2 rides up and tight. And now this count goes full as pitch number 12 now coming up to Felix. Jackson, we always say the longer a pitcher and a hitter go at it, the more the pressure goes on the pitcher to continue to execute pitches.
That is right.
And Felix grounds one. Diving play made by Hartnagel, but he doesn't field it cleanly. Dom Felix is on with a leadoff single.
Huge, and like I mentioned, getting the leadoff runner on is exactly what the Mustangs need. You need to do that, and you got to keep the line moving. Right now, you can't ground it into a double play. George has got to do the same thing. Stay composed, stay disciplined, watch every ball out of the hand, and get it through the play as long as you know it's yours.
So now it'll be JG, Justin George. He's 1 for 2. Singled and walked. His last 2 trips to the plate. Mustangs just need to stack base runners. Not try to get this 4 runs all back in one swing, even though they can. A great glove by Cowan behind the plate. A little bit of a shortstop-esque backhand to scoop it on a short hop. Now DeWitt falls behind George 2-0.
I like what George is doing here. He's letting those down low pitches go. And right now with the power of George, you see a down low pitch like that and you're thinking, hey, I could probably put a barrel on this and get it lofted out into the gap. But he's doing a good job, staying disciplined. I love to see it in a hitter, especially with no outs. It's a green light situation, but he wants to continue to stack.
George is swinging to an aggressive hack. But it's a high ball that'll just land way out in foul territory. The Queen Creek, Arizona native. There goes to second, Felix. Count 2-2. That's always one of those things, Jackson, especially with less than 2 strikes. You see your teammate get a great jump like that. It's hard not to swing, especially if it's a really good pitch. I mean, you can understand George, but it's also one of those things you got to see your teammate get that great jump and maybe just let it go.
Yep, I agree. You know, you see them and you know that the pitch that you're watching out of the hand might have an opportunity to get them there. You might want to watch it. But it is a tough situation, right? There as a hitter. You have 1 strike on. You don't want to go down 2 strikes, but you know, might as well. You know, George is like, hey, I'm on the 4 hole. I want to get something on. I want to get something going here. We're down 4, but right there, you might want to have a runner in scoring position.
George, another first-year Mustang, takes a pitch high and tight. Now back-to-back full counts here from DeWitt. Some light throwing going on, some light stretching in that Carroll bullpen. Manager Martinez going to see how long he can ride DeWitt. DeWitt's longest outing before tonight was back on May the 31st. He went 2 innings, gave up 5 runs on 3 hits. To Carroll, Clardina, and that ball is lined into left. Back-to-back singles to start the 7th, and the Mustangs have something brewing here.
Love to see it. Keep it going. And here comes the pitching coach. Don't know if we're going to get him out at a pitching change yet, but back-to-back base hits. Same side. Go to that third base shortstop side, put it through the gap. First one off of Felix got gloved weird, but this one from George. He's got that pop, put it right through, and now no outs, back-to-back hits. And the Mustangs are just looking to capitalize here. Down 4 runs.
Do it for DeWitt. He goes 2 1/3 innings, but is responsible for both Felix and George at first and second. We'll step aside as your Mustangs still trail 4, but have 2 on and nobody out here in the 7th. Pitching change, number 27 takes over for Carroll. We do not have a name on him, so they must have just picked him up off the streets, driving down from. That is mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For all you viewers at home, I don't mean that. I bet this kid he's playing college ball, but he's got a tough jam. First and second, nobody out for Easton Philippi. Huh? Who? Okay. Who?
So yes, it appears we still do not have an official name for him, but
he will just be numbered. Number 27, facing Philippi with 2 on, nobody out here in the 7th, and the Merchants up 4. That one rolled over, back to the pitcher's mound. He thought about going to second, but instead takes the sure out at first. But now 2 runners move into scoring position for the Mustangs.
just a great at-bat from Philippi. Put it short enough for both runners to move in scoring position. And right now with 1 out, you're looking here. If you are, it's going to be Logan Miller who is going to come in for McCollum as he got thrown out. And Miller here, one of the better hitters on the squad actually, Truman. In a big spot, you at least want to get these 2 home. Put yourself in within 2 runs.
So Logan Miller pinch hits, or was put into the game after McCollum was ejected back in the 6th, here in the 7th. Then he taps one in front of the mound. Missed it, comes in Hartnagel, and no play, and the bases are loaded.
Miller on first, looks a little shooken up. Looks like he might have pulled something. He's on the ground right now, so we're going to have to get a look on him. But a good put on by Miller. No runners advanced, still 1 out, but we're going to get a check on Miller. Looks like he pulled something on his way down.
And that is not good. Logan Miller, I mean, a staple of this team. That was his 21st hit. He's hitting .290, leads this team with 10 stolen bases. And I think you're right, Jackson. I mean, especially coming off the bench like that. I mean, maybe you didn't do your warm-up routine.
Yep.
And he really just comes in and giving it his all, trying to beat out that ball that got past the glove of the pitcher.
It looked exactly like it because when after he hit off first, started just doing the little hops. It didn't look like he hurt anything too bad. It just looks like, just pulled it. Like you mentioned, warm-ups. It's huge. And if anyone watching at home, kids who play baseball, do your warm-ups. It is a very big, vital part of the game. Looks like he is going to be head back to the dugouts. We might have a pinch runner and another sub for tonight's game, but
looks like it's going to be Jaden Little.
Little, yep.
Jaden Little will pinch run now.
The prayers up to Logan Miller for a speedy recovery. Didn't look too bad, so hopefully he's back out in the action here in the next couple of days, but did not look good, and that's an unfortunate way to come into a ball game and an easy exit, but bases loaded, 1 out for Tyler Gundolfinger. And he has a big time to produce.
Mustangs stranded the bases loaded last inning. They have an opportunity right here to at least cut into this lead. Merchants pitchers come in and gotten ground balls. So far, one of them was for a hit, one of them was for an out. Gundolfinger 0 for 3. Looking to come through right here. Gundolfinger ahead in the count 1-0. Still sitting on 11 hits and 9 RBIs. Now way ahead 2-0. Here against the pitcher 27 for Carroll. Again, sorry folks at home, we do not have a name. Not on the roster, on Carroll's website. Has not pitched in a game yet this season. Maybe it's just another player wearing 27, but 2-0. Gundolfinger swings, lines one over to center. Soto's over to make the grab. Tagging and scoring will be Felix. George did not tag, so run comes home, but Carroll trades a run for an out. Gundolfinger drives in his 10th, and it's the 4th sack fly of the night for St. Joe.
Nice job by Gundolfinger. Did the job, put it deep enough. A big throw from center field from Soto, but offline and an easy run. And now Back down to 3 runs. 2 outs, still a runner in scoring position with George Griffith, still trying to keep the line moving, give these extra boys some life, headed into the 8th inning, so big spot for Griffith.
Griffith 0 for 1. Been hit by a pitch and driven in a run with a sac fly. Mustangs have only driven in their runs via sac flies. Starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. Griffith just the second time he's facing Carroll this season. He was 1 for 3 back on June the 22nd with 2 RBIs. Back-to-back breaking balls find the zone. He now has Griffith down 0-2. Bases still loaded. The 0-2. 1-2.
Nice job by Griffith there. 2 pitches that were a little bit out of his zone personally, and looking to get back into this at-bat. You know, can't let that fluster him with 2 outs. It's just looking to get a barrel on the ball. Just put the ball in play. It's all you're doing right here with 2 outs. Two strikes, 2 outs.
Trying to come up with a 2-strike hit. Runners off for third. Did he go around? He did not. Holds up just enough, and Justin George steals his 2nd bag of the night. So now runners are at the corners with a count 2-2 to the Mustangs backstop. And now taking off for second's Little, and they'll just let him steal second.
Look at that. That is a beautiful job by Little. Noticing, getting comfortable on the mound, put his head down in his arm, looking down, and Little just took it easily. So now a base hit here could bring the Mustangs back within 1 run. A
Carroll
big
pitcher,
pitch.
lucky he didn't balk. Just elected again. Stepped off, but just let Little steal. He got a great read. Breaking ball outside corner. Called strike 3. It was 3 breaking balls to Griffith. He didn't offer at any of them. Mustangs dig into the lead with 1, but they strand 2. We're headed to the 8th here at Phil Welch. 7-4 Merchants. Max Pitts is your 4th Mustangs pitcher on the night, looking to be the first Mustang to not give up any runs, as Andrew Clark and Michael and Frank out of the bullpen have both yielded a combined 3 runs. Pitts making his 7th appearance, 0-0, does have a save in 10 innings, 3.60 ERA, 11 strikeouts to 5 walks. And Jackson, I mean, again, his job, keep Carroll off the scoreboard. and just let this offense just try and continue to chip away as this game dwindles toward the finish.
Keep them off the scoreboard. I'd even say keep them off those base paths, just in general. Not even trying to minimize those walks, those hit by pitches. Just try and chip at this lead, and that's going to be with the zeros across all ends. And the bullpen's done its job all season long. He's just got to go back to it.
8-9-1 here for Carroll. Jack Lutheran, who's 1 for 3 on the night. Lutheran doubled and scored all the way back in the second. Then grounded to Coy and flew out to Freeman. If you're just joining us, Truman Greasel alongside with me tonight, Jackson Phelps. Been a wild game. Carroll has led since the start. Mustangs, though, have stranded the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th, and then stranded runners at 2nd and 3rd in the bottom of the 7th. So they've had their opportunities to potentially tie this game. They've gotten within 1 3 times, but have yet to climb the hump, and they've given time for Carroll just to extend their lead. Swung on and missed by Lutheran, now 2-2.
It's exactly what you need from Pitts, coming out of the bullpen and setting the tone.
Striking him out. First time Lutheran's been fanned in the game. Now it's Jack Hartnagel. He's also 1 for 3.
Looking for the same thing here from Pitts. Just quick and easy. Get through this inning.
Starts Hartnagel off with a fastball. The inside corner for a strike. It was Hartnagel's first hit of the season back in the 6th. Pitch just looking to retire him to allow the lineup to flip over, but nobody on base. Pitts out of Cochise Community College. He redshirted this past spring. This is actually a pinch hitter, Cole Schlenberger. Pinch hitting here for Hartnagel. Oh, 2 swung on and missed by Schlenberger. Back-to-back strikeouts to start Pitts' evening.
Huge, huge, huge from Pitts. Has a big ask, keep the donut on the board for the Mustangs, and he's doing just that. Back-to-back strikeouts. He's looking really composed up there, and this is exactly what the Mustangs need. Just got to get some amplify going up in here, headed into the bottom of the 8th.
Now back to the top, and Martin Smith. Pitts, the younger brother of Sam Pitts. His first summer here with the Stangs. Smith, 1 for 4 on his night, but 3 RBIs, and none bigger than the 2 he drove in the 6th by beating out a double play ball. That could have potentially ended the inning. Instead, 2 runs came around to score. There are big 2 runs right now. Pitts has Martin Smith in his pocket. Ahead 1-2. Fastball outside.
I'm liking the fastball from Pitts so far. It's looking really good coming out of the hands. He's got a good whip control on it. Looking to see if he can punch out 3 in a row.
Last pitched against these Merchants went 2 2/3 innings and gave up 1 run. And he gets Smith, but he just barely nicked it. Griffith frustrated at himself. He couldn't snag that foul tip. 2-2 is just upstairs. Some groans from the crowd. Thought that pitch snagged the belt. Count goes full to Martin Smith. Full count delivery. Stays alive. The art that is staying alive and fouling off pitches. Smith getting his time, taking his sweet old time.
Love it, bringing that composure back into him. Full count, big pitch coming up.
Do it again for the third straight pitch. Full count, max pitch to Martin Smith. Popped up, shallow right, on comes Jaden Little. Sliding, and he makes the grab. Foul ball, they say. It looked like from our angle it might have popped up into his lap. A long run from Little. Just couldn't hang on, and we'll do it again.
It looked like it did pop out. Looks like he did get the glove on it, but it looks like he didn't close the ball in the glove. So, popped out. It almost looked like he got the bare hand on it, but nonetheless, stays full.
Slow clap starts again. 3-2 top 8. 2 outs, nobody on for Martin Smith. And he lines one on a short hop to Bodenhausen, who fields it and throws to Justin George for the out. A 1-2-3-8 for Max Pitts, and he throws up a much-needed 0 for the Mustangs. Now, can their offense come to life? Do they have a vintage comeback left within them? They're down to their final 6 outs. So you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Bottom top here in the 8th for your Stangs. They're down to their final 6 outs, and they trail by 3. It's number 27 for Carroll, who got the final 2 outs in the 7th, back on for the 8th. Jackson, the Mustangs have had chances. They've stranded 5 base runners these last 2 innings. They only have 1 run to show for it.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame this whole game on the umps and all that situation. The Mustangs definitely have shot themselves in the foot in some of those types of innings, leaving base runners on, not swinging on those 2-strike counts where they know that the zone is going to be a little bit more open. They definitely need to be a little bit more aggressive coming in here into the final 6 outs.
This will be Truman Bodenhausen. He's 1 for 2. Got caught looking in the 6th. His one hit was a single back in the 4th. He's also drawn a walk. Looking to flip the lineup over and get a base runner on. Got Darius Freeman, Chris Coy, and Dom Felix, who've all swung the bat well. And then if it gets far enough, Justin George also had a hot stick tonight. Just can the Mustangs score more than a run? Bodenhausen going to try to lay down a bunt. Surprise Carroll out in front of the mound. Throw down, not in time. Truman Bodenhausen, a leadoff bunt single.
That is exactly what you want there from Bodenhausen, leading it off in the bottom half. And that brings up the top half with Freeman. It's time to get stuff started for the Stangs.
It is time to get stuff started. They've had their leadoff man on in back-to-back innings with only 1 run. Darius Freeman, tonight he's 1 for 2. Made a few nice plays in the outfield. He's also doubled, gotten hit by a pitch, and taken a walk. Bodenhausen, a big threat to steal. He's already stolen 1 bag tonight. And he's going first pitch. Pitch outside, throw down, not going to be in time. Bodenhausen moves into scoring position on his 2nd stolen base of the night and number 9 of the season.
Big jump. I love to see it from Bodenhausen. The aggressiveness, I can tell he wants to win this ballgame. He wants to be a position of this game where he can contribute his way in the bottom half of the order to win this ballgame. I love to see the aggressiveness, and now Freeman's set up even bigger.
You got to give credit, Jackson, to these Mustangs. Circumstances have gone against them, but they have not let it affect them, and they just have continued to try, scrape, claw, down to their bare fingernails to stay in this game.
It's that grittiness that the Mustangs possess. It's something that most of these teams in the Mink don't have. The chemistry between these guys is strong, and they know that they come into situations like this, it's going to take and require all of them, all 9, and even the pitcher included. It's going to require all of them.
They've got one of their leaders, Darius Freeman. It's been one of the hottest bats in the Mink these past 2 weeks. Can he come through with a run-scoring hit? He's ahead 2-1. Carroll seeing how long they can ride their arm right now before they need to go to the pen. There is a bit of walking going around, just some murmurs. It's 2-1 outside, now 3-1.
Yeah, good look from Freeman there. Was getting a little close to his zone. Gave the arm saying, I don't like it.
Got to be careful with that, though. You know, you don't want to say you're showing up the umpire,
True.
especially with how chippy things between both teams and
You are right. You are right.
Pitch outside, ball 4. Back-to-back runners on.
And here you go. Speedsters are on the bags right now, and Coy, a big spot who had the controversial called on him back in the 6th last time he was up. And he has a chance here to bring some redemption and some revenge back for his team as we're going to get a mound visit. And we are going to get a call to the bullpen.
That will be the pitching change. He got the final 2 outs of the 7th, but Bodenhausen and Freeman both reached to start the 8th. We'll step aside for a quick break. Your Mustangs again are threatening. Can they come through with a big hit? You'll find out next here on YouTube. Chandler Ball takes over for the Merchants in quite the spot. First and second, nobody out here in the 8th. And Chris Coy coming up to the dish. This will be Ball's 7th appearance. He's 2-0 in 18 innings, 2 ERA, 25 strikeouts to 14 walks. In Jackson's last 2 outings, he's gone 5 1/3 against Jeff City and 5 innings against Nevada. 7 strikeouts and 6 strikeouts. He can definitely blow you away.
Oh, yeah. This guy is tied for second with the most innings pitched on this team. And like you said, he's got a surplus of strikeouts. He's got 25 to the 14 walks. This guy can definitely get you where you don't want to be, but Coy's got to stay composed.
There goes both runners. Go for the double steal, and it works to perfection. Carroll was playing the bunt, and Bodenhausen and Freeman said, nah, we got other plans, fam.
The double steal to perfection, no outs, Coy, a base hit, could bring it within 1, and exactly what the Mustangs have on the cards.
Stolen base number 9 for Bodenhausen, number 12 for Freeman. And it is the youngin' Chris Coy. He got rung up on a questionable strike 3 to end the 6th his last time up on a ball that the umpire said hit his knob and was then caught. Coy pleaded that it hit his elbow guard and ended up with Johnny Coy being ejected, Trevor McCollum being ejected, one of the assistant coaches being ejected. Other than that, Coy is 0 for 2 total. He's walked and scored a run and also hit one of the 4 sac flies tonight. All 4 runs for the Mustangs have been driven in via the sac fly. Now Ball pulls the breaker. Coy way out in front. That's one of the things. Didn't see many breaking pitches from number 27 who was in before Ball and Jackson Gwynn. It was a heavy dose of fastballs, but Chandler Ball confident in his off speed. And he gets Coy to chase. Swings at a pitch in the dirt, and it's a huge strikeout for Carroll.
Huge strikeout. I mean, that eliminates the no-out sacrifice fly and then having Freeman over at third potentially, or getting it on the ground, moving them over in a run. Huge. And now with a sacrifice fly, that puts 2 on the board, and it makes the Mustangs a little bit vulnerable with an extra runner on base.
It is Dom Felix. He's 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the 7th. Can old reliable come through again? It's a breaking ball that Ball starts him off with. Traditional curve. You got to see it out of the hand. Stay with it. Don't get out in front. Don't get out on your front foot. Stay back and drive it. Another breaker right at the knees. Ball is coming out with confidence with that pitch and being able to spot it right where he wants to.
Truman, that's a good pitch. I'm looking at that all the way out of the hands. That is so hard to read for Felix, especially in that right-handed batter's box. It's so late, even if he wanted to rely on it. It's got a little bit of speed on it as well. But now it's down 2 strikes. It's going to protect.
0-2 got him with the high heat. Some big strikeouts from Chandler. Ball gets Coy and Felix, and now just like that, there are 2 outs and no runs home now for Justin George.
Back-to-back strikeouts, make that 27 on the year for him. He's pumping. That gas goes back-to-back off speeds like we mentioned, how it was so hard to read off. And then the fastball just right after the ability to go from that velocity to that. It's impressive. And now 2 outs on the board. George is going to have to shorten his swing and put something out.
George chases the breaker. Right now, these 3 Mustangs hitters are just not seeing that pitch. George 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk. George's 5th multi-hit game, or excuse me, yes, 5th multi-hit game of the season. Crowd willing George on. Chases another pitch in the dirt. Now down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, man. Ball's really coming out here with that confidence and the ability to attack, and that is exactly what Carroll's going to want.
The 1-2 from Ball. Fastball got him looking. What a performance by Chandler Ball. Comes in second and third, nobody out. He gets Coy and Felix swinging, and he gets George looking to retire the side. We're headed to the ninth here at Phil Welch. The Mustangs' 11-game home win streak in major jeopardy. Still 7-4 Carroll as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Jace Johnson makes his 10th appearance on the season. He's pitched in 10 innings, a 1.270 ERA, 20 strikeouts to 4 walks. Opponents only hitting 117 against him. And Jackson, he's got to pick up what Max Pitts left off. Just come in and throw up zeros.
That's exactly right. Right there, he gets it started quick. But, yeah, Johnson right now, keep the lead at 3. You don't want to go down too much in a hole. You want to keep it within 1 hit. If you have all runners on, you can still take the win, but Johnson's going to have to keep that 0 on.
This is one of the Mustangs' best relievers, and he gets the 2, 3, 4 hitters here in the 9th. Bradley Soto's 1 for 3. He's walked and scored a run. Quickly finds himself in an 1-2 hole.
Right where he wants him. Johnson's doing a good job pumping that heater. He has one of the more velocity in the side whip style pitch.
And he gets him looking right at the knees. Trifecta for Soto tonight. 3rd time he's gone down. 2nd time looking here tonight.
Beautiful pitch. Went right back to the fastball. It's so hard to read out of the hands of Johnson. It buckled him down at the knees. It's Espinal looking to continue this inning for the Merchants. But Johnson, good start.
So now it'll be Fernando Espinal. He's 2 for 2. He's also been walked and hit by a pitch and scored a run. Have not been able to get him out yet. Johnson hits him, runs inside. 2nd time Espinal's been hit, and now it's a 1-out base runner for Carroll.
Yeah, Johnson just lost control a little bit there, ran inside to the back. Runner on, and now Merchant's looking to try and get some more insurance runs, but now double play in order for the Mustangs.
Now it'll be Brock Moore. 0 for 3 with an RBI. Johnson last summer, and he's a returner, 13 appearances. He was 4-0 in 25 and 2/3 innings, 29 strikeouts to 9 walks, and a .35 ERA. It's a shame he did not earn any Mink honorees with those numbers. Comes from Hutchinson Community College. Espinal on first. He gets more to chase on the slider.
It's beautiful control and tempo from Johnson so far. He's really feeling himself in the groove and looking to contribute here with another strikeout would be huge.
See if he can be able to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Espinal not going. Doesn't chase the fastball outside. Espinal does lead this team with 9 stolen bases. No lead is safe against the Mustangs. Carroll would love to add on a couple more insurance runs. Isn't going that time, and that ball lined over to right. Little's on it, makes the grab. Now 2 outs here in the 9th.
It's a good initial swing put on from Moore. He just lost it in the jam, and now 2 outs, and Johnson's trying to keep Espinal holed up at first.
Now it's Kengri De Los Santo, who launched his 3rd home run of the season back in the 7th. It was his first hit this season against the Mustangs. Leaves him 1 for 4, but he swings first pitch. Bodenhausen will go to Coy for the short way to retire the side. Bottom of the 9th coming up here at Phil Welch. Your Mustangs down to their final 3 outs. What do they have left in them? Do they have an instant classic rally? We will just have to see as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball here on YouTube. Mustangs down to their final 3 outs. A 14-1 home record coming into this inning. They've won 11 in a row.
Here we go. It's go time now. And you got Philippi leading it off. Youngster trying to make some damage quick. You need to get that first runner on. Stack the bases like you've been mentioning it all night, Truman. It's going to be the name of the game here in the bottom of the 9th.
5, 6, and 7 hitters. Philippi 1 for 4. Find any way on. Crowd the plate. Find a hole. Chandler Ball back out for his second inning of work. He struck out Chris Coy, Dom Felix, and Justin George, all with runners on second and third in the 8th to keep this score at 7-4.
Right here by Philippi doing a good job getting ahead 2-0. You need to take early ownership of the at-bat here with these Mustangs. You can't get down, and you got to let them know you're here to play the long run.
And now Chandler's gone 3-0 to Philippi after he couldn't throw a ball coming out of the pen. 3 straight here to Philippi. And it's 4 straight. Leadoff walk for Easton Philippi. And Jackson, you know what they say about leadoff walks in late innings of close games? Don't do them.
Don't do them.
Don't do them. Don't. 3 words. Do not do them. 4 words. Do not do them.
Do not do them, and that is right. You do not want to get, especially a guy like Philippi with some sleeper speed, and a mound visit is going to be pretty necessary here. Going down 4 straight walks, going to Philippi. What a start. That's exactly what you need. You don't want to get any strikes. You want to say all confidence. That was a fully confident at-bat, and I love to see it. And that's going to translate to the other at-batters, the other batters here in this inning.
Noah Dutler just trying to calm Ball down, who was absolute nails. I mean, came in, dotting his breaking ball. Fastball was electric. And right there was just 4 pitches that were just uncompetitive to Philippi. It's now Jaden Little, who, this is the weird spot. Earlier in the game, Trevor McCollum, who started in right, was called out because the lineup was wrong. Then McCollum was ejected after Chris Coy got rung up on a foul tip when he thought it should have been a hit by pitches. Philippi's going to steal second, and it's 5 straight misses.
Huge.
For Ball.
That's huge. And even another ball like you mentioned there, but Philippi had a great jump. Not the biggest stealer in the game, but the aggressiveness continues, and the will to win is there from each player.
So then McCollum's ejected. As now Philippi's going to take off for third, throw down to third. Not in time. So Easton Philippi creating a little magic. Just trying to get at least one across. To finish my thought, McCollum was ejected. Logan Miller comes in. Miller's only at bat in the 7th. Beats out an infield single, but pulls his hamstring. That puts Jaden Little right now into this ball game. First at bat of the night for Little. I mean, he probably came to the ballpark knowing he wasn't playing. He was in street clothes for most of this game. He had to throw the pants on quick. And now he has a chance to drive in a run if he can do it without sacrificing an out. That would be huge. And now 3-1. 8 pitches this inning from Ball. 7 balls and only the 1 strike.
This is a big at-bat from Little. Runners on the corners here would be crucial. Little could steal.
There's a nasty changeup from Ball. Count goes full. Now to Little. Full count in the dirt. Back-to-back walks issued by Chandler Ball. And now the tying run is at the plate in the form of Tyler Butterfinger Gundelfinger.
What an at-bat. Seriously, the Mustangs have come into the 9th with nothing to lose here at Phil Welch. 2 walks given, runners on the corners. Little could be stealing here to go to second, and that could set up Gundelfinger with 2 runners in scoring position, at least to try and bring this game back to 1 run. It's in the cards. This game is not over by any means for these Mustangs. They have everything in them to take to win this game here.
Gundelfinger 0 for 3. Drove in a run with a sac fly. Takes a strike. There goes Little to second, and Carroll's just going to let him steal it. Since his run technically does not matter, it's the run at the plate. Now 2-1 as he did go around. Unreal. The field umpire who's standing behind the mound says Gundelfinger went around on that pitch. And
Man.
again, not trying.
Oh.
But man, that did not look like Gundelfinger went around at all. As now that ball's going to get away. Deficit is 2. Philippi scores. Little to third.
And right there, the Mustangs create havoc on the base paths. They manufacture runs. Truman, here you go. No outs. Runner 90 feet away. Gundelfinger has the potential to get on base, keep this inning going, and now it's 2 runs.
And I think what we saw from Ball in the bottom half of the 8th, when he struck out Coy, Felix, and George, those 3 guys talked to Philippi, Little, and Gundelfinger, and they have been laying off those pitches that the latter 3 chased. Just like that, Felix struck out on a fastball up high just like that. Gundelfinger lays off. Count is full.
Big pitch coming here. Gundelfinger calls time. Yeah, he's going to get it. That's a big moment here. He needs to take a little bit of extra preparation. Big spot. Has runner 90 feet away. Trying to keep this at no outs, but even if it gets it out into the outfield for a sacrifice fly, that puts the game at 1 run apiece. 1 run with only 1 out.
This is the Merchants guy. They're going to ride with him. Full count offering outside corner, strike 3. Gundelfinger not happy with it. Having some words. He might risk. Yeah, there comes Darius Freeman running out, not wanting to have another guy get ejected. I mean, that's hard. I mean, Jackson, you're not trying to play for the walk.
No, you're not.
But again, it's 2 strikes. It just seems like tonight, especially when circumstances have not gone the Mustangs' way, they've gotten out of their 2-strike approach. They've been so good hitting with 2 strikes, and then once a couple things go wrong, they just seem to have gotten outside of themselves.
It's exactly what happened. Right now, I mean, I feel like they're trying to blame it all on everything else, and I think in this moment, you got to own up to that 2-strike count like you mentioned. You have a bat. You know it's going to be close. You already know, predetermined, that anything in that type of moment is going to be close. You got to swing the bat. You got to swing the bat.
Now it's Parker Griffith. The Mustangs can somehow flip this lineup over to Darius Freeman. I mean, Freeman has only been retired once in 5 plate appearances. There is some movement out in the left center bullpen from Carroll. Their guy, Chandler Ball, laboring here in his 2nd inning of work. Has yet to record a save, but has been fantastic. That one upstairs, now 3-1 here to Griffith.
Nice job, these Mustangs. I mean, they're so good in these types of moments here. 3-1, 1 out. The boys are coming here to play.
3-1, bat goes flying, ball in the air, shallow left. On comes Espinal, he'll make the grab, no tag. It's a great throw there from Espinal, and Griffith's bat went just about as far as the ball. Now the Mustangs are down to their final out.
It was a good swing, just 2 inside on the bat from Griffith. That thing was probably driven a little bit far enough to probably score Little from 3rd. But now 2 outs for Bodenhausen. He's just trying to keep this going, trying to keep it going.
It is Bodenhausen. Mustangs down to their final out. Trying to flip the lineup over. Ball is 1 out away from a save. Bodenhausen so far tonight, 2 for 3, stolen 3 bags. Can he find his 3rd hit? It was his 6th multi-hit game of the season. Now they're down to their final strike.
Right now, Bodenhausen in protect mode, trying to keep the game going, keep it alive, keep the fire alive. But Little needs to come home here.
Got to watch that outside corner. That's probably where ball's going to go. Does. Bodenhausen swings over to De Los Santos on a hop. He failed, and he fires, and that'll do it. The Carroll Merchants come in here to Phil Welch and snap the Mustangs' 11-game home win streak and deal them their third loss in the Mink, dropping them now to 19-4 and 14-3 in the Mink. So what a performance out of the Carroll Merchants. They get it done. They got ahead early, 2 in the first, and then they kept the lead. Anytime the Mustangs scored, they had a response, as Jaron Guck will take the loss, his first of the season, while Jackson Gwynn will pick up the win. Just an unfortunate night there for the Mustangs, Jackson.
It was. It definitely was. Something that you're just never going to see much here at Phil Welch. A team comes in, flares from both sides, as we're still getting some of the players going out to talk to the umpires about just what happened today. It's just something that's unfortunate. You know, it's an unfortunate loss for the Mustangs, but you got to keep your head held high. You're still top of the Mink. You're still riding high this season. You can't let one loss, even one umpire, you can't let one thing from a game control the way your whole season's going to go. And just from the aspect of this game, there's a lot of things to learn. You know, definitely. You know, in those 2 strike counts, maybe a bat needs to be swung, but guess what? The Mustangs still put up 8 hits. They played good. You know, they just had some opportunities that were missed, but same thing for Carroll. I think Carroll just won on the mistake battle. Baseball's a game about mistakes, and I think the Mustangs just made a little bit more of them than Carroll did, and that's just how that's how baseball plays, Truman. We both know that. People know at home that baseball, you're not going to be perfect. And then an 11-game win streak coming into Phil Welch, it's going to get eliminated, but guess what? You got one more tomorrow. You go on a nice little break for these players, which is going to be much needed. I think it's going to be nice for these guys to just get a little bit of a breather and come back with a steady head and honestly a steady heart for the game after tonight, because I feel like a lot of these guys' tempers have flared. Come back tomorrow with a better head. You know, I think that's just what you got to do tonight, and, you know, come back ready to win.
Got to stay composed. Got Sedalia coming in tomorrow. But for tonight, Carroll gets the 7-5 victory, as that'll do it from us tonight. My partner, Jackson Phelps. I have been Truman Griesel. All Mustangs live streams are archived on the St. Joseph Mustangs YouTube page. You can go to youtube.com or the YouTube app. Search for St. Joseph Mustangs. Check out all the other content on there. Reading for Rally for Kids. Got Phil in Time with Phil Welch, Andrew Clark, Keaton Smith, Jackson Phelps podcast, Andrew Clark player vlog, weekly mic'd up player vlogs, Kai Turner's vlog. Then you've got Inside the Stables with Aiden Snyder. But that'll do it from us tonight. Your final score, Carroll Merchants 7, St. Joseph Mustangs 5. We'll be back on the air tomorrow night, 7 o'clock first pitch against the Sedalia Bombers. Last game of Week 5 of the homestand. Hard to believe how much the summer is flying by.